He's a guy.
He's a guy.
Guy pod.
What do you think?
And
when
you
hear
are the
that?
first lady on here.
Congrats.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you are.
Stop
Congrats.
it.
Yo, Theon even said, "Whoo, you're attentive."
I said, okay. And we're gonna talk about mental health. I love this for you guys. I love this for us.
How do you feel when you hear that name? He's a guy.
That he's a guy. I don't know. Okay, so oh my gosh, you want my therapist answer or
Your answer.
Your
Whatever
real answer.
oh, he's a
First
guy.
give me the first 3 things that came to your mind when you hear it.
That he is also worth listening to. And he's a guy means he probably has his own like hurt and trauma and stuff as well. And he's a guy means he's special. Yeah.
Wow.
I like those answers.
You know what's crazy? When we explained it, we never got that like, you know, philosophical or, you know what I mean? Whatever.
I try not to have that.
Because the way you asked it, when you say like he's a guy, could be he's a guy.
Yeah, like how you described your dad.
It's how you interpret it.
Yeah, when you emphasize the guy part, it changes the answer a little bit.
Because okay, so
he's a guy.
Little description quick. When we thought of it anyway, we said, you know what, this kind of embodies like a Toronto type of slang. Like, wow, he's a guy over there. Like, it kind of like that bravado type of thing.
Mhm.
And also, you peel back layers. He's like, yo, he's a guy like anybody else would be a human type of thing, where he feels the hurt. He feels the different things that you also alluded to. So we thought it could embody a lot of things and it still be so simplistic.
It's good though. It's good because it opens up to a lot of different interpretations.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That was
I like
great
your
conversation.
interpretation.
So that's
I won't
good.
lie. Clean.
I'm gonna write that in the description. I like it.
100%.
I saved that one.
I was good at
It was deep.
He's worth being listened to. Really touched me. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was nice.
Yeah, I think.
That was nice.
Yeah, you guys are catching me in a season of doing a lot of work with men.
I love it.
So yes, so that's why I said, well, you're nice, but I also said yes. But I also said yes because I have a lot of male clients and yeah, like a lot of my guy friends, you know, they open up about their mental health and like men are like really struggling and they need healing spaces too, and it's not always about the women and talking about women's feelings.
Oh, we're gonna dive in. I love that.
Because there's a lot of men here
Hope
in
the
the
girls
room.
don't get mad at me, but it is what it is. It is. No, it's like it's a serious conversation, but I also had to get convicted of this as well because I used to be like, again, I'm saying I'm a little bit older now, but when I was like 30, I was like, you know, I don't think I was the nicest to like my ex, or like I don't think I was the nicest. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was always about our emotions and our feelings, and it's like as soon as a guy would say something, a lot of men say they get weaponized with when they decide to talk about, you know, their feelings and stuff like that. So I feel like it's a common thing. And also like black and brown men too. It's like a whole different conversation. But
we got time today.
Why?
Open up the conversation.
Well,
you guys want to help
Steph
people.
seems happy.
He does. He looks giddy.
Honestly,
He's ready.
Itching over
when
there.
when Tashawn introduced it as early as this week, and you know, you were excited when you responded in the chat, and then these guys now likes and stuff. I was like, yo, this is gonna be good. Because even if you weren't open as you know as you are right now to it, I feel like the conversation, the way that I was trying to curate it to be, would lead to this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm happy.
Yeah. What is everyone's back? What do you guys do for a living? Like, are you guys in school? Are you working? Are you just figuring it out?
First of all, introduce the pod, big dog.
Nah, I like when we talk like this. Bro.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Oh, hold on, before we even get to that.
It's on?
We're flowing. Sometimes we just flow into it.
That's nice.
Oh, no, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys.
Oh wait, it's on?
Yeah,
It's
it's been
on.
on. It's been on. They called me like that one time too. I'm like, shit. But you want to know what I do? Good.
It's right here, okay?
You look great. I'm telling you, everybody looks perfect.
You want to know I knew this was gonna be a good one? When Steph got out of his car, he looked at me, smiled from ear to ear, and went.
I'm telling you guys,
He even got close to my car, started coaching me on parking.
when I saw you come out the car and go, I said, okay, it's time. And then he pulled up as soon as I jumped out the car. I said,
Yo, big man, you got bear space. I'm like, this guy's happy.
He's like, bro, don't do that. I said, nah, man, you got bad space.
You're good. No one's watching. You're good.
Oh my god.
They're hilarious.
But, you know what I mean? Welcome to He's a Guy podcast.
Yes, sir.
We are on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know whatever you guys would like to talk about. And we will try to make sure to get that stuff rolling for you guys. But we have some special people, some returning faces, some great feedback actually on who you guys are. People are really excited. You know what I mean? And then we have a special guest with us today. So everybody going around the room, kind of introduce yourself. And I also want to start with like mental check-ins. How was your guys' week and whatnot? But to my right, who do we have?
Theon. Week was all right. Some ups and downs, but a lot of positives. My son just got baptized.
Congrats.
Congratulations,
brother.
Praise God.
Appreciate it. Deshaun's a godfather, so I think
Congrats to you too.
I think anytime when we gather and we just get together, it reminds me of when we were younger and just like seeing us all grow up as men. I'm like, yo, I'm proud of us, So
When was that, if you don't mind me asking?
yesterday, brother.
Oh, great.
What was yesterday?
Great into the week.
Yesterday.
I mean, it's like a culminating point to the end of the week.
Yeah, bro, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Right? I just got chills. You know what I'm saying? It's not even cold in here. I'm shaking.
A little cold still.
You're cold? Bro? It's not out there.
You're never cold, dog.
I thought you get security right.
I'm Steph, co-host. What I mean? My week actually was really, really, really busy. I'm a barber, so if you guys didn't know, it's December. Everybody has work Christmas parties, motives, different things to get together with family time. So I'm absolutely swamped. If you haven't booked your appointment, don't be a dick. Please do immediately. Moving on to my left, we have a special guest. Please tell us your name and what you do and your week.
Hi.
How was it?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on. My name's Kace. You can call me Kace. My week was great. It was good. Just, kind of like living in the moment and being present and just navigating life.
Yep.
And I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful.
All right, now I gotta match that. Well, my week, it was really good actually.
What's your name, big dog?
Oh, my name. You guys want my name again? What do you want? Terrell, Jimmy, or Freck?
Freck.
Okay.
Oh, Freck?
To be honest, after the first one, nobody knows. You can name out.
You see what I'm saying? So, I had a good week. My son had his what do they call those things? The Christmas concert.
Oh.
Yeah, he did his thing up there, showing me his moves all week, and then he executed it. He did his thing. No.
So
I have a question.
Yeah, of course. What's up, big man?
For those, I've heard many stories about parents with their kids, especially because of the age we're at now. A lot of these parents really don't care about the actual play itself, just how well that their child did, right? So I'm asking you now, is that the situation for you, or
you want me, or you want me to tell you the environment?
I want Freck's interpretation of everything.
Pulled up, and I'm like, kids are on,
I knew it.
Merry Christmas, doing the whole shebang, and I was like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I took a 10, and then I got the, get up. So, I'm awake now. And then when he went on, all the phones came out, we're happy. He did his thing for like his 2.5 minutes. I looked over. I said, yo, everybody ready to go? You know what I'm saying? And the parent behind me heard it like, I thought it was just me. Everybody wants to see their kid, and then they want to leave.
Rap.
But yeah, the week was great. Ended off with a bang with, getting invited to Theon's son's baptism. Like you said, it was good seeing the family and everybody come together. Seeing old faces, everybody smiling, taking pictures. It was a good environment, Yeah, week's been good. Crazy busy today. And now we're here. And then, I can't smile like Steph, but, happy too.
Brother, it's going to be an exciting day. Last but not least, come on, bring it home, brother.
You know what I'm saying? To Sean, I'm here. I'm the co-host. Week was blessed, very productive. I gave blood on Friday.
Proof.
Why you doing it? Not except for who?
Why are you so excited to get blood?
No. But I'm recovering. You know what I'm saying? The blood's coming back. Huh?
You're weak?
I'm not weak, but
try juice.
B5, go get your juice. Get your juice at B5.
Nah, but I didn't realize when you give blood, you're giving a lot of blood.
Yeah.
It's not just when you get a blood test, it's like a little vial. But when they show me the bag, I have this much blood?
For who? That's what I keep saying.
For the people, though.
Multiple people, bro.
Brother, it's in you to give.
That's
Blessings.
the slogan, isn't it?
Blessings.
No, I'm working with Canadian Blood Services, promoting how
That's
easy it is to give blood. So it was my first time.
Right.
But I didn't realize, after you do it, you got to chill out. I'm not a chill out type of guy, so I'm doing the most. And I realized it's actually a sign for me to just actually chill out.
Like, you get lightheaded or anything?
Not at the time, but they say like, yo, don't work out for like a day or so.
Yeah.
I went rock climbing the next day. We had the baptism. I did something else. I was doing the most. I emceed an event. Like I was doing the most. So it's like I didn't chill out like I said I would. So I'm just.
But did you feel it? Like, did you?
Not right after, but yesterday I did. Yesterday when I was after the baptism, the rock climbing, and I had patties for the. I only had some patties in the day. Like I didn't eat the stuff I was supposed to eat.
I feel like a lot of our viewers haven't given blood. Can you like break down the process? Like how did that go? Like just walk us through it.
Oh, it's quite simple. Like you sign up online.
Yeah.
And then you go in, and pretty much they ask you like a questionnaire of like what your medical history is, and then if you're eligible based on that questionnaire. They bring you in. They take your
determine it right there and then.
They'll determine if you're eligible.
Okay.
Because if you take certain medications or you have certain conditions, you just won't be eligible.
Okay.
So then they'll actually see your I can't remember. They take like a little bit of blood from your finger, and that will determine whether or not like I can't remember what count is high enough for you to give on that day.
Yeah.
And then once they determine that, then they actually sit you down and then take your blood. It's probably like a 5 to 15 minute process.
That's not bad at all.
And it's actually quite quick. A lot of people, I was surprised how many people were there. But it's like, it feels like everybody has a personal reason why they give. It could be like somebody in their family needed it. Or it's like my uncle had sickle cell back in the day. So like for me, that campaign spoke to me because it's like people were giving blood to him.
Yeah.
So when I was like, okay, I could do something to give back. And it's something, I've never done something like this before. So I'm like, if I could educate people about how easy and simple this is, I'll do it. Why not? And get paid on top of it. Like to me, it's a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
So I went, gave the blood, and then they just say like, they make you have a salty snack before, so like chips or anything. And they say like after, make sure you have snacks and make sure you just chill out for the next 24 to 48. But you know me, I don't chill out.
Yeah.
So it's like
rock climbing.
I was doing a lot.
Complete opposite, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So it was good. Like it was a meaningful week. I did that, and then I got the pleasure of being a godfather. You know what I'm saying? And that
was it a surprise or did you know?
No, I did know.
Okay. But
like this year has been like really big in terms of like actually getting closer to like my best friend, the people I love, like us doing this, you know, me being Theon's son's godfather, me being Terrell's best man. Like this year was really special in terms of like seeing like, wow, we're growing up and we're doing things together as men. Things as kids we wouldn't even have thought about. You know what I mean? So
honestly, when we went bowling the other day, bro, that was like I know it's something so simple. But I just felt like the
time
power,
spent for real.
love,
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? It was a great environment, you know?
Just want to put this out there. I whipped their ass in bowling.
No, you didn't.
Yo, there was a guy that came up there and yelled Freck's name and said he's here weekly. All right. So
I don't know that guy.
I mean, this guy has his own ball, his own shoes. You know what I'm saying? We had to go rent. I don't even know if Tashad had might have outdoor shoes on the bowling lane. Like it was crazy. So now Freck's bragging like he doesn't do this with a group of people. Like, anyway,
we're in the league, big bad.
Yeah,
like I said, I just want to put it out there. I whooped these guys' ass.
Congrats.
I'm gonna send you guys videos on how to bowl. Okay, all right, we'll leave it at that.
All right. So today's topic is about talk therapy. I know it's something that is widely discussed and obviously different feelings towards it. You know, some people I know are talking about, man, who needs therapy? Who does this? And those people sometimes are, you know, kind of held back within their own lives because they can't express their emotions and different things the way that they would need to. So we're here to kind of unpack what talk therapy is and the necessities of it or how to go about it. You know, just giving you guys everything that we can in this short little span, you know, trying to change perspectives or give you a perspective that maybe you never thought about. So, Kace.
Hi.
I want to dive in a little bit to, you know, kind of see what about this is something that you chose to do. Why did you get into therapy or the profession of just something psychology wise?
Yeah, good question. I got into it because I actually grew up with an older brother who struggled a lot with like gang violence and alcohol and drugs and stuff like that. So we immigrated to the country, and so I think there was a lot of challenges a lot of like children of immigrant parents were facing. A lot of BIPOC communities also face this as well. So yeah, so like my brother is 6 years older than me, so I think growing up, just really watching him like struggle in the school system, getting like suspended and police at my door and like things like that. So I grew up like that. So my question always was like, why is no one helping my brother kind of thing. And my mom and dad, like, bless their heart, you know, obviously as any immigrant parents, they just wanted to put food on the table and survive in this world, in this society. So yeah, that kind of like stemmed from there. But then I also saw like my community also really struggling. And so yeah, I had kind of from like a young age, my heart to just help kids. And so that kind of really prompted me to come out of high school and go into undergrad, doing a social work major, and then just getting right on into like youth services and doing a lot of like grassroots work. And then I just kept going. I did some child protection services. So did like investigation on child abuse and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then working in the school system and just, yeah, like a lot of experience just serving. So I think my heart's there. I think the future is children.
Mm-hmm.
We were all children before, and we all understand what that feels like. Some of you are fathers. So, you know, it's really important. And so also like intergenerational trauma, like I was just like kept seeing like the cycle and the pattern. You know, I see my dad and I see my brother, and I'm like, I don't want my niece and nephew to like, you know, be like that either. So that was kind of like my thought. And like, what is the like, what kind of agent can you be in the society? So I chose as a service to others.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's commendable to say the very least. You know what I mean? I mean, that sounds even inspiring for me to kind of tap into like what is going on around us that we probably need to take a little bit more attention to. But kind of opening that up to the room now, how do you guys feel about talk therapy when you hear that word? You know what I mean? Or that phrase, sorry. How do you guys
be honest?
Yo, it's so funny. I heard Theon.
Did you want me to go first?
Oh, yeah, what to say?
Yeah, be honest, be honest.
Everyone looking at me.
You're already on the mic.
Yeah,
Mike,
you
you
chose to
what
speak
comes to
first,
your
man.
mind.
All right. I didn't choose it, but you know, I'll do it. To be honest, when I think about therapy itself, or like going to somebody and speaking to them, I'm like, nah. Straight up, just nah. Right? But as I got older, it makes more sense, right? Because like you said, a lot of guys and a lot of men and boys, they have a lot to unpack because we bottle up a lot of things. I was always told, you need therapy. Shut up. That's what my response was. I haven't gone to therapy, so I don't know if I still need it or not. But, you know, I don't really have the answer. But if you really, like, as I'm getting older, I'll try it. I'll try it, see how it goes. And that's what I got for you guys. And that was me being honest.
No, but what makes you say, nah, it's not for you?
Because I just never thought of it, of like going and sitting down and talking to somebody of how I feel, what's going on in my life. And that just is not, even though it's me, like, I'm speaking for a lot of the guys that I grew up with too. Like, because sometimes I would say something like, this guy needs help. You know what I mean? But we just never, like, the environment we come from, we never think about going to therapy.
Right.
I don't know if it's because it's about paying for it or what it is, but us as men, we don't really think about it. And especially as a teenager or as a boy or whatever, it's never thought about to go speak to somebody about how you feel. You just bottle it up and you move on.
Right.
Right? So maybe, yeah, it can help a lot of people. I'm not saying it won't. And that's all I got for you, Tashawn.
I can echo some of those things, to be honest. I remember we spoke a little bit last week about it a little bit. I was telling you, like, there's obviously certain things that come with a certain level of comfort that you want to divulge or whatever the case is. But on top of that, or also going with that, just kind of building a relationship of who you're speaking to. You feel like sometimes you feel like if you don't have one, why would I be telling this? Or how valuable would this be? Sharing this info. But aside from that alone, just I guess the fear of finding out things about myself that I never kind of unpacked.
Bingo.
You know what I mean? I think that's the scariest of things.
Yeah.
Especially when speaking to people that have gone through it. It's like, damn, you learned that? You know what I mean? Like, that was it. And obviously my perception of whoever I'm speaking to at that point could be totally different based off what they're now telling me about what they've learned. So it's like, I may see this person that is, you know, heroic or macho or, you know, this strong figure. And then they tell me that, you know, there's this trapped little boy inside that wanted love and never got it type of thing. It's like, damn, I never saw that. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I learned that about myself, I don't know how I'd feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The only thing I would say to add on, you know who my therapists were? My friends.
Your friends, yeah.
See, like that's like when I say we never thought about speaking to a therapist, but like when Tashawn says, "Yo, Costa, could you believe this?" And then you unpack. You know what I'm saying? Like Dion, you know, and you know what friend to go to. You get what I'm saying? And then sometimes when we're all together, you have that conversation, and that's my therapy. Right? I never thought about going to a therapist.
Right.
Do you ever feel like? Sorry, go ahead.
To add on to that, like that's how exactly how I feel. Like I feel like I've never been opposed to a therapist, but I feel like because I don't know this person, I don't have that trust where I can be like, I can tell you these things or like secrets where I'm like, you can keep this and sometimes when you do unpack secrets, you know, sometimes it's been thrown back in your face. Obviously, as a therapist, you wouldn't do that, but you have that trauma of somebody throwing things back in your face and you're like, okay, I don't really like speaking to people. But again, this has been like all my friends, my outlet. And it's not really good because, you know, sometimes like they're probably going to be biased anyways. But I like you guys keep it up. You guys are honest most of the time. You guys are honest with me, but like, you know, sometimes like depending on the situation, you might be like, okay, let me just give into this because this is what he needs, right? But I don't know. I'm
so
very
do you feel like a therapist would judge you?
Not that he would judge me, but it's just again the traumas of maybe divulging something to somebody in the past, and then they're like, throw it in your face, and you're just like,
yeah, the uncertainty of not knowing what that reception would be like. Maybe.
I'm glad you're here, Kace. You know,
I have a note. I'm like writing everything.
I want to ask the room, even just echoing off, like, you know, talking to your friends. Do you feel like you always get the whole version of something from your friend?
I'm gonna be honest with you. They'll lie to me at first.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's what I mean.
They'll lie to me at first because they know I'm mad. For example, Tashawn. One time we went to the gym.
Not calling.
That was ready. That was ready.
I know I don't play that.
He has all kind of stories.
Yeah, you know I don't play that. One time we went to the gym.
I said, you know I don't play that.
I didn't even get a chance to speak. I was ready for me, dog.
It is what it is. My dog. So we're at the gym and we're all yelling at each other. He looked at us and said, "Yeah, we're too old for this now, guys." Right? So I'm like, "Yo, shut up!" You know what I mean? And then he told me, "Yo, you're Brad. Chill out." You tell me chill out, and I was going at him, whatever. So then I called him like an hour later. I calmed down and I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" He goes, "Are you good?" Right? When he asked it in a way like he knew I was good enough, so he's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Freck,
wrong.
I love you, but you were wrong."
Yeah.
So you know
That's
what I'm saying?
good.
Like they know me not to tell me right there and then because we're gonna argue.
Right.
All right. So he was just waiting for me to calm down. And then when we spoke, he's like, "You're right." I'm like, "Probably, bro. But don't tell me that right now." Right. And I hung up and, talk later. We'll move on to the next topic now.
All right. Tashawn, knowing that you kind of, advocate for this now, you've been through it. You tell me now, what were your hypertensions kind of going into it, your hesitancies, all those things going in? And then now on the other side of that, can you see where guys like us would be coming from? Or it's like change of perspective like completely?
And even to add to that, like how many therapists did you go through before you found one that you felt like was perfect for you?
So to answer that, I don't think there's one that's perfect for you necessarily. I think there's different moments of your life where different therapists can work for you. I don't think you should necessarily stay with the same one forever.
Okay.
I think there's a moment that it works for you. And then to answer your guys' questions, I think I echo all your sentiments about just having that trust factor, going to a complete stranger and divulging stuff about you that you might not necessarily be able to feel like you can trust with them. And like just the experience of like being in relationships with people where you tell them something deep and serious and it gets thrown back in your face. Like I echo all of that. But I think for me, going to therapy was more so because I didn't think my friends would understand or be able to help me with the challenges that I was facing. Like, there's some things I think you guys would understand, but there was ones where I was just like, I feel sad and I don't know why.
Yeah. See, if you came to me with that, brother, I'd probably tell you later, bro, grow up. You know what I mean? Like,
the man will probably say, "Man up, you're blessed, dog. Look at you, you're good."
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I understand.
And it's like, it would be in those more so moments where I'm like, I don't know why I feel this way. And like, to try to put that on Amanda wouldn't feel fair to me. I wouldn't know what you guys would be able to say about that. Right? Because like sometimes the shit you're feeling is deep. Like it's deep rooted from your childhood. And like my childhood, as the man will say, was complicated. I wasn't outside.
It wasn't complicated. You were in jail, brother.
But being in jail is traumatic, right? So it's like in my childhood, I was wrong for everything I did, whether it was at school, whether it was at home, whether I was always wrong. How does that translate into my adulthood? What is depression? Like, why do I feel upset, but things are going so good in my life? Because I would have told you, once I get money, I'll be good. But then I was getting money. I still wasn't good. Then I won more money, it still wasn't good. Had a bunch of followers, still wasn't good. Why am I not good? What is it? And I think like in therapy, you actually can talk through some of these things. And I don't think someone necessarily gives you advice, but it helps you understand yourself better. Right. So you know the tools that you need to be your best version of yourself. Because truly, like, I think that's what I'm always after is like, how do I become a better version of myself? And like the risk of not finding that out, I was like, I'd rather just tell someone I don't know and risk that than not try to be better. I think that's the way I was looking at it. But sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So it's like, you don't even know you need therapy because you don't even know you're like this. Like sometimes somebody has to either identify it with it, like as Frick said, someone said, yo, you need therapy. Somebody has to see that in you, or you're just living the way you're living because that's the way you've always lived. So you could just be angry all the time, and that's normal to you. Like when I was talking about my grandfather, that nigga's angry, but that's normal to him. Right. So it's like for us, it's normal to us, it's normal to him. He's not gonna be like, yo, something's wrong. That's just how it's been. Right? So it's like you don't know what you don't know. But like for me, I think I was introduced to it by my mom, and then in school, like I was put into therapy like many times. And eventually I was just like, hey, let me see what this is about. I keep hearing people talk about it, read about it. I hear people talk on YouTube about it, so let me try it.
Kace, now when you hear that from him himself, and then from what we've had said, that even though that differs a bit, do you have those type of expectations coming in when dealing with a patient? Or are there any expectations at all? Like, do you just open-minded, or is it just like...
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you guys for sharing. I think that's like, it's really valid, what everyone's talking about. I was just like listening to all of you. And I think like what you were talking about, a lot of that is like conditioned behavior in terms of growing up in environments just, you know, where things are just kind of like normalized, like, you know, suck it up, like you'll be fine, like it's okay. Like, you know, we grew up like that, you know, so when we're adults now and it's like, this therapy thing, like first of all, mental health and therapy is just like hitting the block right now. Okay, like let's just be very honest. We're in 2024. People are only starting to go to therapy now, so you could just imagine the year, like generations and generations and generations. Like I need people to understand that. So people are still trying to break stigma, to talk about it, right? So I think as a clinician, we still struggle with that, to even be in spaces. So like very grateful that you were like, you know, inviting me to have this conversation, because we need to be in these spaces to actually sit down and have these conversations. So I think when we talk about, you know, just kind of like growing up and not knowing, you know, what this is and not having people model it for us, like our fathers and our mothers, our grandparents, our uncles, like no one modeled things. Children, like our brain development happens in the first 25 years of us growing up. And when you're a child, you're a sponge. Yeah. You know, I'm sure your babies are like talking and doing everything. It's like, daddy did it, I'm gonna do it too. Yeah. So I think they're sponges. So we will literally absorb everything. So when we have our parents yelling at us and beating us and doing all of that stuff, like that's all that we know. So your nervous system, your central nervous system actually clings to that and normalizes it. So that will also understand the reasoning for like why people stay in like abusive like environments or, you know what I mean? Because it's normal to them. They don't know that it's not violent. They know it's normal, and normal means it's safe. Like I'm used to this, right? So if you pull someone out of that and give them what is healthy, they'll probably self-sabotage. They'll probably try to run away, right? Because they're so normalized to not talking about it, to getting beat, to being assaulted, right? So yeah, I just wanted to, I think that's where that comes from too. In terms of my clients, I personally like so many different therapists. I do agree with you. You can go through different therapists because we have different specializations. I specialize in a lot of like anxiety, depression, intergenerational trauma, suicidal ideation. Those are like my core and grief. But but yeah, there's like so many different therapists. We specialize in different modalities, cognitive behavioral therapy to emotion focus therapy. There's like so many things. So it's important. I always tell people, like, ask questions. You should never book a therapist appointment without having a consultation. Okay. Always have a consultation. Ask questions to the therapist. How long you been practicing? What do you specialize in? What do you like? Get to know the person. I personally, I don't care how many degrees I have. I need to make sure that the person sitting in front of me can actually vibe with me.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to come to me, like I work with the adolescents as well. My kids need to know they got to kick it with me. I'm not going to sit here talking like all like, whatever. I'm going to be like, what happened at school?
Yeah.
Like, what'd that teacher say? Like there has to be an approach. So I think you need to get comfortable with who your therapist is going to be and ask the questions. I think a lot of people are hesitant to ask questions just because they have letters beside their name. Just don't assume that they be that fit. I personally don't have any expectations for my clients because I think I'm not actually the expert. You can't come to me and then have 6 to 8 sessions with me and then I know your entirety of 32 years.
That's fair.
That makes no sense to me. So I always tell my clients, I'm like, you're actually the expert. I'm just here assisting you to have this conversation with you. Do I have a clinical lens? Yes, I do. So can I share that with you? Yes, I can. But for the most part, my clients, part of my job, the way that I work is I need to empower my people. Like you need to feel empowered every time you go into a session. You need to feel like I am worth living. I am worth having a conversation. I am worth unpacking. I am worth all of that. When my clients give me that, I can reciprocate and say, yes, you are. So tell me, what happened? You know what I mean? So I have no expectations. It's not a destination either. Your diagnosis does not define you. I don't really like to label. I'm not a psychiatrist, so psychiatrists don't get upset at me. But I don't. Like a lot of clients come in with like I have ADHD, BPD, and like all this stuff, and I'm just like, talk to me about you.
Yeah.
Like, what are you experiencing? Like, use your language. Vocabulary is so important. How do you define it? You know what I'm saying? Depression shows up. I suffer from anxiety. I'm a lot better now, praise God. But before I've been practicing for the last 4 years. I've been in the work for over a decade, but clinical work for 4 years. But I suffered a lot from anxiety when I was in university. Like I got into bad relationships, abusive relationships, and my anxiety was really, really bad. And so, but I just didn't know how to describe it. But then when I found the language for it, right, then I was like, okay, so this is what happens to me. I get tense in my shoulders and my stomach turns. That's my anxiety. Somebody else, it could look different.
How does one find that language? Like just like you say,
find the language. Yeah. Like I think and this is where like how you said like I think it was like get with my friends, and that's good. That's an informal support. It is good. It really is good because you need a support system. You really, really do. Do not do life alone. But I think this is why we need to seek out professionals. When if y'all broke your leg playing basketball, y'all telling me you're gonna sit at home? No. Jesus, no. Jesus won't do that to you.
You know what's crazy? Actually, to break that stigma for anybody watching, you know what I heard? Well, I read, sorry. I didn't heard. I promise you.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Knocking on wood is actually a devil's call.
And we don't play that.
Yeah.
No.
Because we're covered in the blood of Jesus. Because we're covered in the blood of Jesus, so we don't do that.
Research it at home. Knocking on wood does nothing.
It really doesn't. But that's a whole different conversation.
That's what I literally found out this year.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw my dogs do it, so I'm like,
No. 100%. And I looked to do it and I said,
don't do that.
That's research it, I promise you.
Yeah, don't do that. You're gonna be fine. But the point I was making was y'all are healthy in Jesus' name.
You don't call on your friends.
But what I was saying was, I think like you also have to understand, why do we attend to our physical needs right away? So if I was to injure something in my body or like I was ill, I can get it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm gonna go to a doctor. But what makes you think that your brain doesn't
need the same word.
It helps you function your body.
Honestly, when I hear you say that, I'm just like, I can't deal with this right now. This helps. I'll be all right.
And so because this shows up quickly,
and you feel it more.
You spot it, but what happens to your brain?
You feel your brain.
It sits.
You do. That's what I said.
But you don't.
But it takes time, right?
Yeah.
It takes time. And I do a lot of my work is like visual like visualization techniques. So I tell my kids, especially my adolescents, I'm like, so imagine you have a knapsack And every time, and Tashawn, you were saying like, no matter the money, no matter the followers, whatever, it's just like, man, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad. Every time you kept making that statement, imagine in that backpack, I put like stone in your backpack. One by one, one by one, one by one. You're eventually not going to be able to carry that backpack. That's like your mental health. The more that you continue to navigate life, and like, she broke up with you. My loved one just passed away. I didn't pass the bar exam. I didn't, like, as life goes, that stone, you just dropped another stone in that backpack. So people are just like walking around without addressing nothing, like acting like I'm good. But it's like, you're not good. And that backpack gets really heavy. Yeah. And that's what happens to your mental health. People ask, why am I suffering from anxiety, depression so much? Is because there was no prevention. There is a mental health continuum that we operate on. So we are like, yes, we want to be healthy. Is it ideal to be healthy all the time? No. I don't wake up being super happy all the time. Sometimes I'm tired. Yeah. That's okay. But we need to make sure that we're not in severe and extreme levels, right, of anxiety. Anxiety is also a natural feeling to have. It's actually, it detects threat. You need that. If I was to cross the road, I would have to look both ways to make sure a car wasn't coming. So I need my anxiety. But the level of anxiety has to be manageable. You get what I'm saying? So think of it like that, right? When we look at our mental health, it's just like, over the years, we just keep it. And a lot of it comes from our childhood.
I was about to say that. I think it's all these Caribbean homes. I'm going to be honest with you.
A lot of racialized homes. Because my people too.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Hey, yeah, you're one of us. We don't look at you. I
didn't want to interrupt
people
when you said
I am, but
especially when you're talking about like injuries. In Jamaica home, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I don't think I've been to a doctor.
I haven't been to the doctor for even like a physical checkup in maybe like 2 years. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Brother.
Other than like getting sexually checked. You know what I'm saying? But like my whole body check.
I don't even know where my health card is.
Oh.
I have hold on, I'm gonna put this out there. I have a red and white one.
You have the red and white?
Don't replace it.
I'm telling you, don't let it trick you. I have the red and white one. They said they couldn't take it. I said, all right, I'm out of here. But they can't deny you. So they have to take it. I have the number. I don't know where my health card is. That's what I'm saying. I don't go to the doctors. I don't go to the hospital. I don't do that stuff. But it is what it is.
Damn. Okay. So you say that you're not professional. We're not professional. You are. But in terms of talking to your client and those type of things, like, how do you stay current? How do you keep up with new practices that are going on within your field to kind of update and keep, on point, I guess, within your...
Yeah, like, I mean, we're part of we're licensed, so we're part of a regulatory body, just like many professionals, like doctors and lawyers and stuff like that. So with that, like, we're constantly researching and reading and, like, I'm looking at articles and stuff like that. Like CAMH brings out something, like, we'll read that and, stuff like that. And also within your like practices, I run a private practice now, but in your respective fields, like, they always have updated stuff for us to like be ready. But for me personally, like, I just talk to people. Like, I'm a community person. I'm a people's person. My heart is for the community. So if my loved ones know me, they're like, Kace is never home, because I'm always in the community. Either I'm doing like a basketball tournament, or I'm at my church doing something, or I'm just doing like anything, like a panel, like, that's where I met Tashawn. Like, I'm doing something, because I'm like, how are you supposed to get to know what your community is going through if you're not even having a conversation? Yeah. Like, just talk. I have an annual event called Let's Talk Therapy. And that's all I do. I gather hundreds of people once a year and I host this event. And I have a whole show of like just having conversations of just like different stories. And our ancestors, storytelling was the thing. Yeah. That's how they didn't have therapists and they didn't have all that thing before. So I do believe in like narratives, like, narration and storytelling and just like being honest and just letting people know like how you feel. And I think through that, like, we can hold space for one another. You know what I'm saying? We're human beings, like, empathy, compassion, right? Like we need to use that. Like we have that. We have that.
So even sensing from that, you do sound like an empath, right? So now, in knowing that, when you hear these stories and from your clients or from your community, is it daunting for you in a way that like you kind of carry that home, or can you cut it off at it being, okay, this is work, this is confidentiality, I can't, because even hearing my homie stories is like, sometimes it's like, damn, like, and then I hear it, I'll go on about my day, I'll drive home, but then I'll think about that moment and be like, You know what I mean? Now it's
Yeah.
hard for me now.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So
for sure.
how do you manage all of that? And I guess, do you take it home? Do you not bring? Yeah, you know what I mean? In your own life, even.
Yeah. No, it's hard. I think I think a therapist's life is interesting. First of all, people need to stop thinking that we're always assessing y'all. We're not. We're just trying to have a conversation. I can't even date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I remember this one time this guy was on a date with me and he's just like, still like, are you assessing me now? I'm like, the date's done.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going home. So it's interesting. But best practice is to make sure that you have a really good rest life and self-care. And I play a lot of sports. I dance. I go to the gym. Like that's my thing. It really, really gives me like an outlet to like just, when I used to work for Child Protection Services, God bless all the people that are still working.
That's a tough one.
That's a really tough one. So I used to do investigation in the investigation department. So I remember working there. It's really hard to see children obviously being abused and neglected and stuff like that. So walking in on certain things, I'm not going to share all of them, but like I still have stuff that I still remember the 6-year-old that had to give me a disclosure about an assault. So like things like that, like I'll I have even right now I probably see about 100 people within a few weeks for work. And it ranges, right? Like sometimes it could be a full out disclosure, like, essayed. And then sometimes it could be something like, yo, my boys pissed me off and like, I don't know what's going on. Right. So it's kind of like girl chat, but it's called vicarious trauma. And so a lot of clinicians do have it because we're also human, right? Like we feel things can hit home. My sister was diagnosed with cancer a few years ago. And she was, praise God, she's in remission and she's alive. But during that time, I remember picking up a file and it was a 10-year-old who also had cancer. So my supervisor was like, Kace, I think it's like close to home. Like, don't take the file. And I said, no, I'm gonna take the file. I was very I was younger then. So I was just very like, no, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
But I remember doing that investigation and I went in my car and I had a breakdown and I started crying because it really, really hit home because my sister, I had to go to the hospital to see my sister and I didn't know if she was gonna make it. So at that time, so now like talking about it, I'm just like, yeah, like it hits home. Like there's certain things like for me, like certain things I grew up, like, I don't really have the best relationship with men like growing up, right? My dad, sweet. My father's super sweet. But like a lot of South Asian dads, they never talk.
Yeah.
Like they don't, I'm like, now I'm just like, Dad, hug me. Tell me you love me. Like I'm teaching him that.
Is that still tough?
Yeah. Like I'm like, Dad. Like he's retired. He's 65 now. Yeah. And then my parents know I'm a therapist now. So they're like, this girl's always talking about feelings. I'm like, yes, we're healing.
Does that get hard? Like in your friend group? Like, do people like always come to you about stuff?
Yeah, I think naturally, I think like a lot of people was just like, let's go, let's ask her. So I think,
the cup's always full, man.
It is.
It has to be.
Fine. Yeah, but God also sends you the right people 100%. Who can also pour into you. So I've been, I found Christ. I found Christ 2 years ago. And I got baptized and it's like really changed my life. So I do like God in therapy now. So, I Bible, but also therapy. So I think he just like gives you the right people. And I think right now, as I'm walking, I have the right people in my circle. Before I didn't. So I was a people pleaser before. I was pouring in because my heart was so big. Be careful. If your heart is big, you set some boundaries to make sure that, you're pouring into the right people. So it's a lot, but I think, I think a lot of self-care, also being like self-aware is really, really important. Just knowing like what you can do. And therapists need therapy too. I have a therapist.
Who do you go to?
I have a therapist that I will be going back to. I'm looking forward to just navigating more stuff, right? Because we also like go through divorce and go through stuff.
Is that hard as a therapist though? Like, because like, what they're looking for. Like,
yeah. I'm like, I can't speak for all therapists, but I remember when I was looking for a therapist, I was like,
He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing.
I was like,
yeah, I was
like, how long you been practicing? Like, what you
That's not deep now.
No, I believe it. I believe that.
But yeah, like obviously, because we do the work too, right? So I'm just kind of like, what modality? Like, what would the approach look like? So, and if you're really, really self-aware, like, it could be challenging, but yeah, you just try it. Also, I think I don't know if it was you, Tashawn, that said it about the therapy, but a lot of people have come in and said I had really horrible therapists. I'm so sorry. But it happens. However, if you bought a lawnmower and the lawnmower broke and you can cut your grass, Are you just not going to cut your grass?
Yeah, I gotta go.
No, you can go to the store, return the lawnmower, and get a new one.
Yeah.
Same thing as therapy, people. Find another therapist that fits. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of people do get also traumatized, and I feel for that because I feel it's really hard. But just like some doctors and lawyers and engineers and whoever else are not the greatest sometimes, we're like,
I feel in life everybody has like a hard time detaching themselves from things. Like some people won't quit their jobs even though they hate it because they're so attached to it. So I feel like sometimes that could happen with therapy too, right?
Or even we're not giving something we weren't trying to really give a chance. We finally give it a chance.
Yeah, and it didn't go.
And didn't go good. It's like we see even with
that's hard.
We see what black owned businesses a lot.
Yeah.
We buy from something black owned, it doesn't go right. See?
No, you're
right. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, which is that's so true though, because you like build yourself up, and it's just like, all right, I'm gonna give it another shot, and then you give it another shot, and it's like, man, again.
I give you 3 chances and you're out. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like that,
like you're like, for example, you go to a restaurant. The chef was probably not.
It might not be this one.
You know, I'm gonna give him a next shot.
Yeah.
All right, but you feel a little bit. Yo, big man. Yo, give me a refund, man. Like I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
This is not it. You know what I mean? And that's when I'm done with that restaurant.
Yeah.
So
I feel like 3 is a large sample size. I feel like for me, like what you said, I feel like
2 times you did me wrong, fam, is it?
I don't know if I get to 2, to be honest.
Really?
Not the
one time and you're done.
Yeah, like if
Man's done, dog.
But I think
Go call back.
I think it depends on the situation. But like you said, like if I go and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give this person a chance, and they just mess up. I'm like, yo, I'm done with this person, bro. No more chances.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you guys think therapy is an investment?
Honestly, after talking to Tashawn, I think it is. I think that you always bring up good points about it and bettering yourself, right? And to know yourself is to get better, right? So I think it's an investment on bettering yourself.
Yeah. Wow. Come on, Tashawn. Awareness.
You know what? For me, it's like I study people a lot, right? And I look at people.
So you're an assessor.
No, I'm not an assessor. No, I am now. I'm taking a coaching program. I'm really big on language. Like,
so you got a date or something, you like
language is big, dog. Even like when I talk, even with us now, like certain things that Madam used to say. I was even talking to Theon about this. We used to joke and be like, "Dog, I'm broke." And I'm like, don't say stop.
That.
We're done with that because now we're actually casting that spell upon us because it's like
broke though, that.
Huh?
My pocket's broke though.
But that's but if you're gonna say you're broke, now you're gonna give broke energy and you're gonna continue in this brokenness and you're not gonna get out of it because you're calling yourself that.
Once again, that goes back to the Caribbean homes. Every time you go out somewhere, I'm like, can I get this? Where am I forget it from? Remember? So it sticks in your head.
So I'm saying,
but
I have money to get me around, but pockets hurt.
It keeps
life and death
there.
is in the power of your tongue.
Yeah.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you change your language, you change your situation.
Yeah.
And it's like when I hear people use certain language, I'm assessing how they see themselves. I'm taking a coaching program. So it's like, it's all about language. So when you listen, you hear people say certain things, you're like, oh my gosh. Like, oh, there's people who just complain.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes complaining is a way of connecting. Like, you know, you see someone in the elevator, especially you see a white guy in the elevator, hey, what the weather, huh? And then the weather sucks. And then we connect over that. But sometimes, exactly. But sometimes it's like, when we speak negatively about ourselves, we keep ourselves in that place. But when I was talking about assessing, in this case, I was saying like, looking at people who are really successful that we look up to, and you hear the things that they do, they invest a lot in coaching and therapy and a lot of these things. And I wonder why. Why is that? What does it do for them? And it's like, it truly helps them elevate and be better in whatever it is they're doing and understand themselves better. So for me, it's like when you see people who you look up to doing it, it makes it a no-brainer for me.
Listening to all you guys speak too, like you said, you got to change your circle. And then going back to you, what you said, and Steph, and the reason why a lot of people say they're broke and they don't say they're up is because of the circle that they're keeping.
Hey.
Right?
Ooh,
hey.
And hold on, let me
rewind.
finish. The reason why, because I'm going to go back to the hood. If you go to the hood and say I'm up, what are they going to do to you? They're going to try to rob you. You get what I'm saying? But now if you change your circle and you're saying it around the people that are actually up with you, well, let's invest in this. Let's do this since you're up. You see what I'm saying? So it goes back to changing your circle and the language. So
Yeah.
sorry, I'm just sitting back peeping your all game, you know?
So yo, I want to even
I wasn't
challenge
that.
that. I want to challenge well, not the idea of everything you guys said because it is true, but the idea of just talk therapy, right? And that being the method. Is that something that you guys find is necessary, or is there another method to go about, expressing yourself or unpacking things? Like, is talk therapy, going to get with a therapist, the most ideal method, or would you? I don't even know, because I know that's your profession as well. So,
Yeah.
is there another route that people could go? Because I've also heard that therapy is not for everybody. So I don't know how true that statement is.
I'm gonna challenge that.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I think that stems from like people who have been misheard, and people who have had bad experiences with therapists. To be honest, therapy is for everybody. Everyone should see a therapist. I recognize there's challenges in terms of affordability, accessibility, and stuff like that. It's not cheap. But a lot of therapists have sliding scales. I give my students and single parents discounts on therapy, whatever they need, right? So I can only speak for myself, but there are a lot of therapists who can, help. There's a lot of programs in Ontario who cover it as well. You just really have to kind of be proactive and do that. When people say therapy is not for everybody, that doesn't make any sense to me, because how you talk, that's saying like a doctor is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. The problem is we're not giving enough importance to our brain health, just as much as your physical health, right? Your physical and your mental work in tandem. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when you study the brain, there's different spheres to the brain. And part of that also is, I know a few of you have been baptized. Sorry, Tashawn, I just want to say, like, I'm so happy that you got baptized. You guys, like, I'm a woman of God. So anyone says that, I'm just like, praise. But even that, there's a spiritual side of us also that is required for healing. You get what I'm saying? So I think in therapy, you can actually explore that. There's faith-based therapy as well. I also do that. But for someone to say like therapy isn't for everybody, I think those people, I would sit with them and challenge them and ask them, well, where does that come from? What is the root cause of that, right? Because how can you tell me that therapy, the fundamental of therapy, is healing? So why wouldn't healing be for everyone?
Right.
Yeah.
I would challenge that though, in the sense that, to me, in my mind, you need healing if you're sick. You need a doctor if you're sick.
Mm-hmm.
We don't generally go to the doctor unless we're sick.
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, like, I'm looking at it like, what if these people are not quote unquote sick?
But I think that's the thing. Like,
not even sick. Like, they're not on that side of the scale that's in the healthy range. You get what I'm saying? Like, we tend to not go to the doctor. Like, if we had the healthiest diet and we worked out and we maintained our body in a certain way, we may never go to the doctor and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing if we maintain like our teeth and
Mm-hmm.
we may never go to the dentist and be fine. I know we don't in real life, for most of us, we don't practice in this way where we're optimally healthy, where we never have to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But are there people that they have like the right practices in place where talk therapy maybe might not be for them?
And there's different kinds of therapy. Like, you could do like, there's different kinds. I don't really use all of them, but there are different modalities of therapy. You can do like somatic therapy, which focuses more on like body and sensory and stuff like that. There's EMDR, which is more around like eye movement and things like that. So not everyone does talk therapy, but I guess, and I'm just speaking for myself, I guess for me, I just feel like every single person has a story to share. How are you sharing your story if you can't sign language or talk about it? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, there's a story to be shared. Also, when we're talking about sick, like, if you don't go to the dentist and your teeth are fine, or if you don't go to the doctors and your body's fine, but those parts are not your brain. We're talking about your brain, and the brain focuses on your thoughts. There's about 67,000 thoughts that come into our head all the time. Most of it is negative, which is with anxiety, fear, worry, panic. How are we addressing that? We can't address that with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, we do need to talk about it. And that is why I'm very passionate about what I do, because when I have people who say, people come to my face and say like, yo, I don't really mess with you like that. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, that's okay, but I'm still going to talk about therapy, because I'm just like, it's so important though. Like, you guys have to understand, I have not put anyone in front of me and I'll like guarantee, give me like 30 minutes with them. 30 minutes with them to help them understand why their mental health and their brain health is so important. and that they do need to talk about it. And we're all on the spectrum, but like you can't tell me that we're going through life like you never experienced a death before, you never experienced a breakup before, you never experienced addictions, you never self-harmed, you never like someone has a story.
Yeah, but they'll tell you they cope and doing other things.
So let's talk about the coping. Let's be very honest. Let's talk about the coping. So why don't you guys tell me some of the coping?
All right.
Everybody has their own.
Yeah.
Right.
So tell me.
I'll even start because we talked about this a bit on the last episode, where I said coping mechanism for me, where I thought, weed or talking to your like a sense of community between your friends, or if you have a significant other, talking to them. But it's like I've also realized, so I'm kind of on the side of that of what you're going to be alluding to, where it's like, yeah, the coping mechanisms may work for you, but only so much, because it's like how are you really holding yourself accountable in those coping mechanisms? Like I can speak for me, like when I smoke, I'll sit there and I'll think about all these things that I may be going through, but you're one talking about it. Like you're not really giving that to anybody else to help you.
Sweeping under the rug.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So
yeah, you might bring it to attention, but you're not doing anything.
You're expressing it.
You know what I'm saying?
You guys can link up and you guys can like express about it.
But then you're just walking away.
Yeah, but now after the session's done,
yeah.
Soft.
It's the same thing
I dealt with it. I did.
The
But
same
you did
thing as everybody would say with therapy. You went there, you spoke about it, did it do anything for you?
But what I'm saying, the difference is
say that you just swept it under the rug because you went, you spoke about it. But what
you need a new therapist.
So
I don't have one.
So
if someone says that, like, I'm so sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful,
sure.
but if someone says that, I would say get a new therapist.
So because like when I say stuff like that, or I've been in that, Tashawn hasn't necessarily spoken to me about therapy, but even in just how he speaks about it, I already can see that, cool, I'm definitely not dealing with it the way that I should be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
like when I smoke. Right.
I'm so proud of you.
You know what I'm saying? So like when I smoke, no, really.
You know what I'm saying?
No. She feels what I'm saying. Like clearly, because like, cool, you smoke, you deal with it, or you don't deal with it. You talk about it to yourself, you address it, and it's there. But after that moment's done, you kind of just, but then Tashawn's maybe alluded to, not directly to me, but even just talking about it, he says something like, well, did you really unpack it? Like, what happens now? What happens?
What happens?
You know, but with the therapist now, it's like they may give you a 1-2 practice to go home with and actually have you think deeper about whatever it is, versus actually challenging yourself to think deeper, because you already think you're at the depths of what you need to be.
And mind you, also with a good therapist, they're also going to give you psychoeducation. So that means they're actually going to teach you. Mm-hmm. They're going to start teaching you things in your life. They're going to start helping you look at symptoms, right? Like your body, your mind. I always tell my clients to do their checkpoints. When you wake up in the morning, I'm like, y'all got to do your checkpoints. What is it? Physically, how you feeling? Do your body scan. Like, do I have aches and pains? Do I have like sprain? Like, is it hurting? Where's it hurting? And all that stuff. You should be aware of how your body feels like, right? And then mentally, what does your mental mean? Your psychology. How do you talk to yourself? What is your language? What are you telling yourself in the morning? Do you wake up in the morning and be like, man, I hate it? Like my son's gonna be like, is that how you touch it? Or are you like, yo, I can't wait to go get my son and do, you know what I mean? Psychology. Not to say that that's what you're doing.
No, you're looking at me. I'm like, what's going on right now?
So your psychology, and then the third checkpoint is your emotional, right? Your heart posture, like how you feeling. A lot of people can't even identify emotion. Every time, so it's like the angry. It's like, I have a lot of Jamaican friends. And so my girls will listen, my girls will tell me it's just like the angry Black woman, right? Like the angry Black woman. And it's like, yo, they're not angry. They're actually really hurt.
Yeah.
They're actually really tired.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that saying.
They're actually really, and it's like angry Black men or, whatever. I'm trying to think of like brown people, what they say, but it's not, but like what I'm saying is like, we need to expand vocabulary. You talked about that too. Language, vocabulary, use different emotions. There's frustration, there's disappointment, there's isolation. There's like I'm lonely. Mm-hmm. I'm lonely. It's Christmas. People are getting together with families, right? My husband died last year. Like I'm lonely. No, not me.
Oh, bro.
No.
You have me.
No.
Oh my God.
I said, yo, this room
sorry. I was like acting. Like I was like
that episode. I thought it was going to be.
No. Made that. I mean, it's no. But I'm sorry. anytime I talk about it, I'm like usually like any type of client story that comes to my mind. Yes, like a client would share, like.
But to anybody else out there, if that's
it's grief, it's loss, it's hard, you know, and so it's like there's so many. So I challenge you, like, you know, whoever's listening to this right now, I just challenge you, whatever language that you're using for yourself, I challenge you to find more ways to express yourself. And I think that's really, really key. You get what I'm saying? Like, find more ways to express yourself. That's important. The other thing I want to say in terms of coping strategy is also recognizing when we go to things like weed and alcohol and sex and like any kind of other addiction, like gambling and stuff, everything is temporary.
So I want to ask you about sex, actually.
Oh. I do not specialize in that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to getting to that point, I guess. After, you know, breakups or anything, it can really lead to anything. The feeling of needing somebody, or the feeling of that you're lonely and you would like the happiness that brings. How do I want to phrase this?
Let it out, big man.
Nah, for sure. But like in terms of is there like a too much amount, or is there a
too much sex?
Yeah, like an amount of that after, like how do you recognize that?
Like after a breakup?
So
yeah, like how do you after a trauma point is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be a breakup.
Like when you go on a sex spree?
Well, it doesn't have to be sex then. I think you should say any vice. Really.
Okay, yeah, cool. Any vice. Yeah. Is there a, you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm asking?
What are you asking?
No, Steph.
Who are you asking for? Asking for a friend.
Unpack the question.
What are you really asking?
What am I really asking? So even after a breakup, let's keep it there. I guess that'll actually steer it home. And you go on a sex spree.
There you go.
Right? No, I'm painting the picture for actually what I mean. So and you go on a sex spree, whatever they say, the quickest way to get over something to get under another, right? What is too much or what is too, like, to identify those things as, okay, cool, it might be temporary, but to say that I'm actually hurting myself in doing that or whatever the case is.
Okay. So every time you do get intimate with someone, I just want you to like ask yourself, like, how do you feel? And keep doing that for the amount of time that you do go sleep with people. Until
are you talking about after or before?
No, like during. So like if you're on the spree, and then I don't know like how many persons, but every time you engage in that behavior, just check yourself and be like, how do I feel? And maybe your first couple of days or maybe in the first couple of weeks, you're gonna be like, yo, that was great. Cool. Keep going. And I promise you'll get to a point where you're just like, yo, I don't want this no more.
This is needless, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I think, and also understand this, habits, like that becomes a habit, right? When we pick up weed, when we pick up alcohol, when we pick up these things, we don't really want to, I think it's like, what do I go to help me, you know, deal with it? Like a lot of people like, you know, have this like rebound situation too, right? When when their hearts get broken, just like, yo, whatever, I want attention, I want this, I'm that, because you're also trying to validate yourself in that. Right. You know, I remember when I was younger and my ex was not nice to me. And I was like, forget this. I'm still cute. And, you know, and I would be like, I'm going to the club.
Yeah.
I'm going to the club. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then I would, you know, seek attention. But there was this void. You know what I mean? No
matter if you got it or not.
Like, it's just like, and I think the people that run around, and this is not coming from a place of judgment, right? This is just like observation. But I think the people, and you know, I've been there. I think when you go for so long, I think you're also not being honest with yourself. I think there's a point where you're just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, I'm just going to front like I'm that guy. I'm that girl who like, yeah, I bagged all these baddies. It's like, okay, that's fine. But the more time you do that, you're hurting yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of the, you know, my clients who deal with like this, the sexual part of it and that like, and also understanding like when you have sex with someone, like it's such an intimate exchange. That's an energy exchange. That's, you know, and the Bible also talks about it too, right? Like there's a reason why we say like, you know, not before marriage is because it's a covenant, right? You're coming into agreement with something. And then here we go, just sleeping with people we don't even know where they're from and what they're dabbling in. So like there's an energy exchange. There's a spiritual energy exchange that also happens there too, right? So I think to answer your question, it's just like, oh, can I just keep going? You can, but then check yourself as you keep going. Right? Come to a point. And have you guys ever heard anyone that really like continues to do it and says, oh my God, no, this is still amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
I don't know how honest they're. That's what I'm saying. That's
but that part, right? Like, I think you can say that. That's like being on the gram. You know how many people are on the gram fronting their money and they're following like Instagram account and all that stuff? Let me tell you guys something. I've been in some rooms with some people that have big accounts that, you know, all this stuff. I don't even talk, but and I'm in those rooms with them because as a therapist, I think people feel safe just talking to me.
Yeah.
They're depressed. They're just, it's just fake. It's just this facade online. And this is why social media is just like, it's such a great tool to connect, but it's such a, if you don't navigate it well, it becomes so deadly, you know what I'm saying? So be honest with yourself.
I think that's like even why like I've been off of it for so long.
Yeah.
It's helped you.
Yeah, I feel like I've been able to connect with myself, and obviously we're human. We always compare and stuff like that, but I feel like so many horror stories I hear people on there like, oh my God, this person's 20 and they have a Bugatti. I'm 30. I'm not married. I don't have no money.
I'm worthless. Like, right.
But you're not worthless.
Right.
So. And
it's that. So I think people need to be honest with themselves to be. I think anyone that says like, no, I'm good. I'm like, okay, well then have a conversation. Have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Now, am I to say that like everyone is like, you know, it depends on like what does your suffering look like?
Right.
Everyone can suffer. Some people take grief like they're cool, you know, and some people take breakups, they're cool. But what is your suffering? That's to each their own, right? Like, what is your suffering?
I take grief like I always try to be strong.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have to unpack that too. Like, I have to be strong for my family and for everybody around me. So.
Yes.
I don't know.
And that could be a trauma response. And that's what you get in therapy. Your therapist will be able to help you understand what those things are. Like regularly when we have chit chats with our girls and guys, we can't do that. Right? We're literally specializing in these things. So that's why I say, like, you know, invest in a good therapist. If finances is a hard problem, like, and also like help people out. Sponsor a session for somebody if you got money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're someone who's doing well, like, hey man, I got 2 sessions booked for you. Want to check it out? Yeah. You know, I usually, like, a lot of people come, but I can't take everyone because they're my friends or whatever. But I hit up all my colleagues and I'm like, hey, I know this person, this is a situation. Just do
you take your friends? Would you?
You can't.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
Conflict of interest. Okay. You can't. Yeah, you can't take your friend. No, I don't want to take my friends.
I don't want to take them.
I don't think it makes sense. Like, even like when I think of, even when I go to you guys with like my challenge, my problem, because you guys know me, it already changes the way in which how you're gonna unpack and how you're gonna react to it. Yeah. Right. And even like to Steph's example, like if you guys see me in a certain way, right? And if I see myself in a different way, you might hold me to that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I talk about like this,
that's good. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm talking about like, yo, talking to all these girls for me is just empty, bro. And you're like, yo, fam, you're gallus, dog. Yeah. You know what I mean? You might keep me there and I'm trying to get out of there because it really feels empty to me.
Sorry, bro. I mean that. I may really hold him there.
You know what I'm saying? But your friends can hold you in a place. Yo, Titi, where the girls at? Like, madam will say that. Where the girls at? And it's like, oh shoot, like.
Do you have an answer though?
See what I'm saying? I really might hold him there. I'm sorry.
Hold on. That goes back to your brethren called you, you know, because he wants to know where the girls are. You're his therapist. Yo, they're over here, so he's going to come. If Tashawn now says, yo, stop. I'm not that guy anymore. I don't have that. Come talk to me.
That's what I mean.
We'll go from there.
Do you give that boundary, though?
What? Come talk?
Or you welcome, like you kind of just...
I'm done with it.
No, you're not.
No. I'm done with it in the sense that... No, hold on. Okay. I'm done with it in the sense that I don't talk about it, but I'll dodge it. I'm a dodger on that, right?
So you don't keep a strong boundary around that either, though. So even if you be there, you'd be like,
I think he's working on it, though.
I'm working on that boundary because I think there's a boundary where there's a point where you have a boundary where like someone says something to you and you just avoid them, and then there comes a point where you're so comfortable with the boundary now you can talk about it.
But you know what, we do that, bro. Like especially as black men, we definitely will dodge aggression, act like we didn't hear it, but it's not a boundary. You see what I'm saying?
But it's your way of addressing it without addressing it yet. It's like me. If I know, like, I don't want to deal with money with you no more, and you're like, yo, Tashawn, can you lend me some money? He'd be like, I don't have it still. That's me dodging it because I do have it. I don't want to give it
would
to you.
that not create conflict instead of just addressing, hey, look, nah.
That's a conflict in itself.
But
That person, but I'm being upfront and
But
honest.
I can say to you, hey, Steph, actually, like, I realize, like, when it comes to money and friendships,
right.
I don't really want to mix the two,
right,
and give you a real rationale. And like, I'm no longer doing any of that,
right.
And then that could be me addressing it.
But you should also call out his behavior.
But that's what I'm saying.
You should call him in on his behavior.
On why I wouldn't give him the money.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Because you don't want. Right. So he needs to know that.
That's what I mean.
Like,
so
he needs to know that
behavior.
behavior.
Say about the keeping you in the realm of, hey, TT, where the girls at? If you're trying to be out of that, even if you're on your journey to doing so, it's like if somebody were to keep consistently calling and you're just like, and then keep going to it, it's like you're still welcoming it. You're not really putting your foot down like, yo, I'm done.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
I gave him the scenario, but I stay calm.
No, that's what I'm saying. So like, so I understand what you're getting at. Like, I'm trying, but you're not trying. You're welcoming it.
I'm on the journey, dog.
Yeah.
I'm on the journey.
But Tashawn is also recognizing, like, what he's also doing is he's recognizing that it is his journey.
Right.
So because he can't even help you if he doesn't help himself first.
Right.
So because he's identified that I'm not trying to be out here with the girls like that, right? And you're trying to get out of that, but then still has, guys that are like, yo, where the girls at? He's still trying to navigate with what this looks like for him. So until he gets a foot on that, right? And you get to a place of just like, I'm actually really comfortable, and I don't know, like, I'm not a guy, so like, I don't know how it is. Y'all be getting girls. I never got guys like that.
It's a tough scenario to work through.
So I'm just listening to all this. Why not just say, I don't got that?
But that's why.
But you're still not really addressing, even by saying that.
Okay, don't call me about that.
I guess I could say that.
You know what I
So
mean?
you can say, yeah, don't call me about that.
You know what I'm saying? Especially because it makes you.
But it would start to go. I would start to go a step further. Like,
Yeah,
sure.
have to go into
And that's
like, yo,
fine.
honestly, we're at this big age now, bro. I'm not on that.
But Tashawn can also stop there because you also might not be ready to receive what he has to say.
Right, but that's my point. So it's like, if you are just gonna kind of still leave the door open for me to keep asking, I'm gonna keep asking.
Exactly.
Okay. So at what point are you gonna take your accountability there?
He's not holding me accountable. Am I supposed to keep myself accountable?
Yes, you are.
I don't even know I'm wrong.
He doesn't know he's
So there's
wrong.
no self-awareness there.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If I know him to be as the guy that's always getting the girls and he can put me on,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going to
So then, is this a real life story?
Man's hungry, though.
It's real life for now.
Is it real life story?
Like, is this real life?
It sounds deep rooted. But in male, and especially in black males, it's like we have that. In every space, we have that. We have the guy that, he's around all the girls, it seems.
He's a guy.
Right. So we're gonna keep going to the well. When is the water dry?
Aww.
When is the water dry? You're only that day when you go to the well and the water's not there. Guess what? I'll have to realize I either gotta go somewhere else or there's just no water.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if the well is like, I have no more water, but I'm gonna find somewhere to get you the water, I'm gonna keep going back to the well because he keeps finding me water.
Well, then I guess for you then.
Come on, talk about it, brother.
For you, for him.
When you came out that car, I knew it was gonna be good today.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I think for individual, like, it's an interesting story because I think I'm just looking at the other picture here is that I think some of us are really trying to come out of some things, right?
Yes,
like we don't want to live that life no more, right? Like we're getting older, right?
Sure.
You guys are like my age group, so we're getting older. So, but when you do that, it's just like whatever you're releasing yourself from, you have to remember this comes back to the circle that you have around you. Right? Your growth is dependent also on who's around you. Mm-hmm. You're going to start outgrowing people. If you keep doing that to him and he gets to a point of he's just coming to terms and he's just yo, this is not really about me. He could choose to have a conversation with you and also help him. Mm-hmm. Or he could also choose to be yo, honestly, I'm off that.
Preach.
And that's
just keep preaching.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just I'm off that. So people do have those choices. I've left circles because I'm just it's just not fitting for me. I'm
Do you keep trying?
Do
you keep trying?
No, I left the circle.
I said, do you keep trying?
Keep trying for what though?
Do you keep trying to make that circle work?
No, she left it.
You know what? Full
I'm
transparency.
You keep trying to make the circle work.
Yeah.
We had this conversation.
Yeah. Yes.
You keep telling me to keep trying if I care. Sometimes I can't care no more.
Yes. I've done that. I've tried to make friendships. Yeah, I've tried, but I also realize that comes with my people pleasing tendencies that I used to.
When is when, right?
So, but I think when you get to a point of just recognizing that your greatness, sometimes it'll be your own friends that are keeping you from achieving your greatness. Let's just talk about that. And it's true. And it's not that, and it's not coming from a place of shade. You have mad love for them. But at the end of the day, that love can also be like, release them and release yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because also when, if we're buddies and, you know, you're like doing all the things and I'm just like, still like, no, man, let's whatever. And you're just like, at a point, you're just like, no, I have to go. But you're also doing me a favor.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to sit with that and I'm going to watch you grow. And there has to be a point when people can't see that, then it's like, that's when people have to be honest. It comes back to the question of being honest. Be honest with yourself. Why are my friends all like doing the things and all that stuff? What's going on here? That means I'm not being honest with where I'm at. Right? What do I need to address?
I agree.
What do I need to work on?
Yo, what stuff? I can't hear you.
I agree.
No, what you agree?
With her sentiments, but because it calls back to a conversation we had in the very first episode about kind of knowing when to say when, and you're also helping the other person by putting that boundary in place if you've tried.
But when you say when to say when, is it when as in you're just gonna duck back or you're gonna say something about it? Like
Yeah,
when
so
you're
what
talking.
I'm saying is, so I'll give you a quick call. Yeah, I'll give you a quick call.
Give me the concrete details.
So I had a friend, and I still hold this friend dearly.
Yeah.
Right? Me and him have been going through some type of tumultuous up and down relationship where it's like he will feel a way about not inviting him to certain things, or when I go on trips, he'll be like, yo, how come we never done this? And it's like, yo, maybe we're not that type of friends anymore. And we were best friends at the time. And I reached a point where I was like, cool, I can address this. But at the time that he brought it up, I was on a trip. So I was like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about type of thing. I didn't understand it. And then I had some time to sit with it. When I got home now, I sent him a message, paragraph long type of message, whatever. And I'm telling him like, yo, I'm sorry. I love you. I want to be friends with you still. And you may be right on terms of inviting you to certain things and things of this nature. But the way that your life goes and the way that my life goes, sometimes they just don't align. And right now they're just not aligning. So a little bit more detail. He just has a lot of things going on his side, and I'm a little bit more free on mine. So it's hard to, but I am doing the assumption that he can't make it. So I agree. That's why I say you're right. I can ask him to pull up and do whatever. Send out this message, no response. All till today. This was in May that I sent this message. It's December.
But did you follow up like we talked about on that?
I did follow up. I did.
Again, and still nothing?
Still nothing. So it's like, okay, keep trying because I care for this guy. I love this guy. Or do I say, yo?
It was a text message?
Yes.
Talk up now, Kace.
All
right.
I feel like we.
So this message is for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know how many listeners you guys got. Probably lots. But I want us to stop texting conversations that need to be had in person.
Thank you.
Or on the phone.
Thank
the
you.
reason why I say that is because text has no tone.
Okay.
So when you sent that, your intention. So remember, when things happen, there's different interpretation.
Of course.
Your interpretation is valid.
Mhm.
His interpretation is valid.
Mm-hmm.
So if he received a text from you in May, and in that text you said, "I love you," and you know, I do see where we're differing, and you know, et cetera, and all what you said. I think there could be a part of him where he probably still feels unseen because it depends. I don't have all the context, but if you guys have been close friends for a long time, my question is, why couldn't this conversation come out of a text? And why couldn't it be like, yo, let's meet up, let's have a conversation, let's talk about it, where you're all at? Because I think that's the thing. I think a lot of reasons why relationships are suffering is because there's lack of communication and we're just not able to sit in discomfort.
So, to your point, that's exactly what Tara said.
I think I should be a therapist. I'm putting that out there.
but so now a question for you now in response to that. So if I reach out again and it's still left uneasy.
Maybe you need to stop reaching out. Go check him.
Wow, you guys.
If I'm not welcome, but if I'm not welcome, so that's what I'm saying. So if I'm not now welcome on either side of two texts, what makes me feel easy to go? Let's pull up.
But like Kace said, the tone, it gets lost in a text message, right?
And my tone is you're not answering.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You're not even giving me anything to work with.
Listen to me. I've read text messages before and I've been like, this person's saying this. And then after when I got level-headed, I was like, Oh, okay.
It's not even that, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, maybe I took this
You
the
didn't
wrong
see the
way.
How many
period, the
times?
comma.
Yeah, and like we read it so differently. Like I would have conversations with people, and I'm just like reading it. I'm like, oh my god, that's so mean.
Wish I
But
could
like,
read it.
what?
I wish I was that
Hold
open
on.
to you guys. I'd let you read it.
Steph, you said I love you, right?
Yes. Both
So
texts.
hold on.
Both texts.
Hold on. Yes, I get that.
And you're right.
It could have been.
Everybody wants to hear the right.
I love you can
No.
be condescending.
No, hold on, no, but not
And your right could be condescending too.
with all that. Well, you said you love the person.
Right.
You don't love them enough to show up at their door.
Hey.
What
Fair.
are we talking about?
You don't love me enough back to answer me twice?
It doesn't
Okay, so let's
matter.
pause.
Be hurt. You
So
might
hold
be
on,
hurt.
pause. So I could also recognize as a part of you that's also
Here you guys.
Hurt too.
also hurt too.
Yeah.
Here you guys, bro. I've never left nobody unanswered. Twice.
But that's-
Months unanswered.
You
But
though.
that's
Goes
you.
back to
But
what we
Steph,
talked
that's
about the
you.
other day.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
you.
I agree.
So here's another thing. So that's us. So these expectations that we have on people.
For sure.
Sean talked
So expectation, people are going to fall short all the time. And I've learned this the hard way through one of my dear friends. We fall short. So I think for you, there is a level of expectation here, even though
To respond?
No.
Oh.
There's a level of expectation of how he should respond to the message that you've
No,
given.
I don't think that's fair. I don't have an expectation of how I want to be responded to. I don't care what he says. He can say no.
And that's still an
It's
expectation.
still an expectation.
Yeah.
An expectation to respond
Yes.
Yeah.
is an
Yes.
expectation.
Yes.
That's wrong.
Do you
It's not. It's not that it's wrong,
Uh-huh.
right? Like so, anytime we feel something like here, feelings are valid, but your behavior is not.
Right.
Okay. Therapists say this all the time,
I believe that.
right? So I think like your feelings are valid because I think it's like, yo, bro, like I should, like I sent you a message, you didn't hit me up,
Mhm.
so you're sitting here like, why not?
Mhm.
But again, we have no idea what's happening on the other side of
Correct.
this individual, so you have no contact with this person.
I do. Like in terms of contact? Oh, no.
So there's no communication with him.
No.
So you don't know if he's in the country or not.
I do know. I see him. It's right here. It's on phone. Social media is everything. I see it.
Okay.
So
So
I know
on
it's being
social
ignored.
media.
I know it's being ignored is what I'm saying to you.
Okay. So he's okay. So clearly he's not in a place to want to have a conversation.
So then why would I go the extra mile to now pull up and make sure he hears me, especially if he's not trying to hear me?
And I think that's a decision for you to make, right? Like I think that's what happens in friendships, right? Like at the end of the day, like I think there's a lot of,
And that's what I'm saying.
There's
When
a lot
is
of
to say when?
miscommunication. And for you, if you feel like, yeah, like I feel like this friendship has expired, like if that's for you, like I've sent this message
Mhm.
and he didn't reply back to me. And if you're in a place and it comes back to that, like the love. And if you're just like, let me tell you something. If you really want people in your life and you love that person, and sometimes we gotta fight for some people.
Preach.
If you just don't want to fight, like and this is just
No, I
like
agree.
you could be in a place where like I don't have the context. You could be in a place where I've said deuces to people and I'm good. It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
I just know they wouldn't fit me.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's other people where you're just like, yo, no, I'm a fight for them. Like I fought for some people, and those people are in my life right now.
So if you fight, when is fighting done? When can you get turned away enough for you to be like, yo, I'm done?
And that's the part where like they need to reciprocate, right?
Mhm.
So it has to come to a place where he also needs to communicate.
Mhm.
He also needs to come to terms, like give people space.
Mhm.
But also, yes, we need to come to a place of like, it's still an uncomfortable conversation. I need to have it. If he doesn't want to come back to you because he still has the text message, so if he doesn't want to reach out to you, then that's also still something.
That's an
that
answer.
you think.
No, I'm
yeah.
gonna piggyback of what she said. Stop the texting, bro.
Yeah. Maybe a call.
Stop
So
that.
why
Yeah.
can't we call?
Yeah.
Why didn't we call in the first place?
'Cause- is it what?
But the way that it was addressed to me was the same.
So ego?
You don't have to fall under that.
It is. You
Yeah.
see what you just said? Say
Ego?
it again.
Is it ego?
I don't think so. I think I put my ego to the side to even respond and say, you know what, you're right and I love you.
And I try.
Even
So
like me and Terrell's situation, it was a lot of ego as well. And if in that 2 or however long it was that we didn't speak, if I could have went back and done something differently, so we
So we never got here.
didn't lose that time,
Yeah.
100% I would have done it.
Yeah.
I would do it now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
You gotta fill her in.
no, it's fine. But I'm just running the name. Yeah.
But it goes back to where, like, how much do you value and love this relationship, right? And like, is it something that you want to call quits? Because if it's not,
I don't think
That's
it
the
does. She
thing.
sent 2 texts.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm not the one calling it quits.
Yeah, you feel
That's
like
what
he
I'm saying
is.
to you.
You feel like he is.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying to you.
So
Yeah.
let's
But you
tell
might-
that to your face.
But and he might not be seeing your try as a try.
Thank you.
And when you feel like someone has done you dirty and they send you a text, you're just not hearing that. You're not even seeing it as though they try. This is a text.
Yeah.
This is a try.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when my dad said, yo, he sent my sister a
Yeah,
text.
I heard that.
A text?
Mm.
What is a text? You know how long
Pick
it
up
takes
the
to send a text?
phone.
You can just go enter.
Done.
What is that?
No meaning.
But to sit on the phone or to see someone face to face and sit in that
it's
with them,
different. It hits different.
it just hits different.
I just also wanted to say, like, you know, no means like we're trying, you know, like I'm not, don't want you to feel like, yeah.
No. I brought it too.
Yeah. But also like recognize this, right? Like whatever's for you is not going to miss you.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes for your friendship, your money, your spouse, right? Your career, like anything in life, everything is written for you. Whatever's for you will not miss you.
Mm-hmm.
So if this person is supposed to be in your life, if they're not going to be in the season, they could come back in another season. That's okay too. But what I want people to focus on is really, really search your heart. And the Bible talks about this too. Search your heart and pray that God can actually clean that heart, where we can look at ego, pride, and jealousy and those things, because they do sit with us. A lot of us have missed out on some amazing relationships because of those things. Like I've lost my ego and pride, like where I used to be before. It was so bad. I used to be this woman who's like, I'm independent, like I got my bag, I did this, I did that, and like it's like no wonder I was single. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like mans are like looking at me like, okay. She can't even submit, or she can't even, you know what I'm saying? So it's like coming to that place of like whatever relationship you guys are in, or, you know, ask yourself, like, am I sitting with that, right? Am I sitting with that? Because at the end of the day, people want to be loved. Like we want to be loved. We want to be heard. We want to be seen. And I think it's just communication is just one of, you know, the root foundation of just being able to express it. And it's hard, you know, it's just like, I don't want to do it first. I text him, pick up the call. But honestly, put it into the, like, yo, what I don't want, I never want to wake up tomorrow morning and find out that person's not here anymore. And the last thing that I said to them was, yo, bun you.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Agreed.
Right? If it's just closure, then it's closure face to face, you know? But if it's not, then you'll know when it's just you two alone in a room chopping it up.
And I think he'd appreciate that, you know?
Same.
Man.
We did do this.
It's okay.
We did do this.
It's okay.
Okay. So kind of bring it all back in. Are there any differences you find between like male and female patients and how we
Hey. Sorry.
and how we either divulge or anything, any of those? Especially, I know the social stigmas already, but do you think we kind of lean into that?
Okay, male and females. First of all, I just want to say my heart goes out to males. I think males are I don't think we create enough spaces for men. I think women as a collective, we need to listen to men more. I think there's a lot of trauma that women suffer from, which in return, we kind of like weaponize the things that men say as well. And obviously I'm not generalizing. I just feel like the work that I'm doing right now with like a lot of males, especially like BIPOC, I'm just really seeing how much our men are really hurt, and it really hurts my heart. Sorry guys if I get a little like thing. I just like very, very passionate about it because I have a father and I have two brothers as well, and I can see how like they've suffered with their mental health too. But yeah, I think when I have male clients, like I have males who come into my sessions who are crying. And I had a male ask me if he can cry. Like that breaks my heart. That actually breaks. Yeah, he asked me, can I, is it okay if I cry? And it actually breaks my heart. And so, yeah, like I think it's tough. I don't know what it's like to be a man, but I think it's tough. I think it's tough that you guys have to grow up feeling like you have to be strong. You can't feel, you can't slip up. And then on top of that, like going against like all of these like, you know, stereotypes and stuff, especially being a Black male. I think it's hard. And I think having men in therapy is so important. Men are the leaders of our household. We need men. We need men. We need to include men. We need to love on men. We need to give men their flowers. We need men to heal. Like we need that. You know, and I think the society, I think the enemy does such a good number on discord in the community. But that's a whole different topic on spiritual warfare. But I just feel like the men that come into my space, I think they're hurting so much, and even in their marriages, like they can't even talk to their wives about certain things.
Is it Now, when you get those type of men into those, and I'm assuming it's a good handful of them, do they come off angry? Do they come off, or even changing that, frustrated? Any of those, like, is it difficult to deal with how they unpack anything? Like,
no.
No?
My male clients are the easiest clients for me.
Really?
They just
Yes.
come in and just
Yes. Yes. My male clients, not to say that my female clients are not the best.
No.
Like, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just, but I don't know. Like, every therapist is different, right?
Mhm.
For me, all I know is I know right now in the season I'm called to service people, and I'm just seeing like an increase of males in my clientele right now. They are the easiest people for me to talk to, because they're so soft and they're so gentle.
There's no walls.
They're
very
just
little.
like honest, but it makes sense because they have to go in the world and then do the opposite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to go in the world and do the opposite. And it's like, yo, men are tired. Like, they're tired. They're hurting. They're tired. Like, I had a client who said that he wanted a hug from his wife.
Yeah.
And the wife is, and I'm sure she's going through it too, but they just had a baby 2 years ago. But he's like, I just want to hold my wife. He's like, I didn't know my marriage was going to look like this.
Like intimacy level.
You know what I'm saying? Like, men are like, yo, I just want, and they're not even talking about sex.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to like hold his hand. I want to cuddle with him or her. I want to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want my wife. And it's like, life happens, you know, women also getting pregnant. We have postpartum.
Yeah.
We go through it. So it's a challenge, you know, but yeah, like I feel like the men that I have anyways, like, and to my boys too, my adolescent boys that come in, you know, they're just like,
are they easygoing as well?
I don't know if I'm good with, like, I grew up with a lot of like my brothers and like males.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people catch that vibe from me or what that is, but I don't have a problem with working with male clients. I find like my clients are just like open and honest, and like for me it just like warms my heart that like they're coming to therapy. Like, a lot of women go to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to break that. And this is also why like Tashawn and I like really mainly connected, because I was just like hearing him speak and I was just like, yes, I only partner with people that are really doing like a lot of this work right now. I just, you know what I mean? I'm just like really, really focused. So when I saw that your passion was in like awareness and like men's mental health and things like that, and then when you have the platform that you have, I'm like, yes, do that. Do all your other things too, but do this, because this is important.
Yeah.
Like, you guys have kids, right? They're gonna see this. You guys are gonna break cycles and break chains.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to continue this. Like, when I have kids, no way. I think that's the main reason why I don't have kids, because I'm just like, no. Like, I want to make sure when I bring kids into this world, they're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, we heal that.
Mhm.
And we need healing as a community, and men need to be included in the conversation. All of this, like all this culture, city girls up, city boys up, and these podcasts that are going at it. Nah, don't let culture fool you guys. Don't let culture fool you.
Tashawn, you started most recently like doing mental health Mondays with you know, little interviews and stuff for about an hour with people that are, you know, interested in coming on and speaking to you about whatever they're going through at the time. Do you feel like it's kind of as easygoing as she says? Like, they come on, they're willing to share with minimal walls?
Yeah, because they came on in the first place.
They took the first step.
They took the first step.
Yeah.
What's interesting about even that is I put a call out to people like, hey, if you want to come on live on Monday with me to talk about mental health, who wants to come? Bare people raise their hand, because it seems like men have a lot to say.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like, you have to be in a place where you want to say it, where you feel safe, you feel comfortable. But I realized, like, I have the identity now as the mental health guy. So if I ask you how you're doing twice, you're going to tell me your whole life.
Mm.
Like, I was even with Theon at his restaurant the other day, and a man came in that we know. I was like, how you doing, brother? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm blessed. How are you actually doing? Bro.
Yeah.
You don't even know. The man, I think he was just passing by. The man ended up staying for like 90 minutes talking to me and Theon about the stuff that he's going through, because he doesn't feel like he has nowhere else where he can talk about that.
Yeah.
And it's like, men, like, we need this more than ever. And all the men talk about, and sometimes people will tell you, I don't have no issues with my mental health. But it's like, there are like, you look at certain men in their lives, you could see like they're stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's their mind.
Mm.
Even to go like back to like the brunch that we just hosted, right? I mean, we did an activity. It was called the Mask You Wear, and like our barber, I mean, he's very like open and honest and talks to us, but like I don't think you even finished even saying what you were saying, and he just started unloading. And it's like rooms like that, you can see like people are not dying, but they need this. They need to open up. They need to talk about it.
Just even a sense of relatability, in a way.
Yeah, like everything that. It's funny because what I wrote on my card, it was echoed throughout the room.
Yeah.
And you
probably
didn't
like
speak
5
for
times over. I didn't get to see.
Yeah.
But everything on
So
my card
good.
was checked off.
Right.
Right? So.
Well, kudos to you guys. I think like I remember starting this work 10 years ago and there were no colored people. There were no therapists. There were no spaces.
Yeah.
So to come now to sit and do this work and like seeing like people, you know, with doing like I think it gives me hope, you know. It gives me hope, it gives me joy and a lot of peace in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Just like we can heal as a community there's a lot more work to do, but we are healing. And I just encourage people to keep going and like find community. Anxiety, depression, suicide, things like that. Like it's just your mind says like, you know, you should be in your room like by yourself. Like don't talk about it. If you talk about it, people are gonna think you're this. And you know, and that's the enemy playing you. Like don't fall into that. There's community for everyone. And some of us are not born in family that are healthy for us. You can create your family. Like we can really, really create family. You know what I'm saying? So, find community like wherever that is, right? If it's like a basketball team, if it's like, you know, your church community, if it's like at school, right? Or even if it's like you just go like in your neighborhood and shovel someone's driveway, you know, you can even make friends like that. So, you know, we struggle, you know, we have a lot of insecurities, like I still have insecurities and we like life is hard, but it's so worth living.
Yeah,
it's so worth living. You know, it's just change your perspective and just know like someone, is going through what you're going through. Like you're not the only one.
Deshaun, you've been to a couple of group therapy sessions, or you know, just even going on, like you said, mental health walks and different stuff like that, kind of like group. And you've also done obviously your like individual sessions, right? Kace, have you held any like group? You did say that you like the group. You held a once a year. So in saying those things, do you feel like there's a difference in how people maybe open up, or do you feel like there's one that kind of favors over the other for either one of you?
I think like, and I'm sure Tashawn can speak on this too, but I think like you can try both. You can try both. It really depends who you are, you know, and like what season of life you're in. There could be a season where you're just like, yo, I'm really not about talking about no one's trauma, like especially mine. And you might not want to do the one-to-one right now. You're just not I also don't take clients that are not ready or willing to participate. Right?
How do you recognize that?
They tell me. They tell me. Well, first of all, they're not.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, like
they
I'll
come
have
to you, have a conversation. Like, you know what? I'm not doing it
because it depends. Like kids, like sometimes parents force their kids to go to therapy,
Gotcha.
and then so I'll be like, okay, and I'm like, I could have a session with your kid, and then I'll just be like in session, like their parents are not there. I'm just like, tell me how you're feeling, and I'm just like, if you don't want to talk to me, you can tell me that. And then sometimes kids are like, yeah, I don't want to be here right now. I'm like, okay, that's okay, and I tell the parents, they're like, shit, they're not ready. You know what I'm saying? So
they're not ready or they're not comfortable,
and it could be both, right? The readiness or willingness, right? Or they cannot be comfortable. So I think it's group stuff is fun too, you know? Like if you're a social person, like group might be better because you could just kind of like go in the back and be like, yo, but I just still want to check it out. So group is good, but individual could be good too. So I think both have its perks. Like I don't think one is like better than the other. Individual, obviously you get focused, right? Like imagine if we're doing group therapy right now.
I think
it's the same thing as like working out. You can go to a group workout session,
like a boot camp.
Yeah, they're not.
Or get a one-to-one.
One-on-one. You know, okay, we're targeting this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I think they're speaking to it perfectly. Group workout you can hide in the back. Group therapy you can hide in the back too. But with one-on-one, it's like it's.
I'm looking at you in the eye in a one-on-one. I'm like. What's happening right now?
Terrell's so dumb, bro.
No, I thought we were having a stare off. You know?
See what I said? Look at him.
And you weren't losing that.
I didn't blink.
I did because I'm like, wait, I think he thinks it's uncomfortable. But one-to-one, like, we'll challenge you.
Man.
Like, we'll challenge you. Like, when people, because, you know, like, because also therapists, remember, we're specialized. So, like, we know what we're doing. Yeah. If there's something that I say, I'm just like, in my head, I'll be like 5 seconds. here. I'm like, all right, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, it just, yeah. Because we're also like analyzing. We see what you said. We're formulating assessment. What is happening here? And then our brains have to go to what potential modality am I going to use right now to help this individual now understand that thought, link it to the feeling, and possibly not bring it back to, this is all therapy. This is why you can't just go to your friends, get a therapist.
Yeah.
Terrell.
My friends do a good job. Just putting that out there. You guys know who you guys are.
That's good support.
That's all you need to know.
But Terrell, he did say he was open to therapy.
He did.
I said that?
In the beginning.
I might have.
At like 10 minutes in.
You say you're open. You didn't say you're going.
You know, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
What if I get the man a gift for Christmas?
What's the gift?
He just
2
said it.
sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good gift.
Kace is offering sessions. I could go half.
I will give.
That's crazy.
Is it a conflict? Is it a conflict of interest now?
Hold on.
To take you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
But you have colleagues.
It's tough.
You have colleagues.
Yeah. Like who wants to read?
Why you look at me?
I feel like-
Not only that.
I feel like
No, I do. I always
That's not
refer.
that needed.
50% off just now.
I have a great therapist.
I feel like I need it.
I have wonderful colleagues. I
feel like
always
I need it
refer my colleagues because especially if I'm coming into contact with people and like if it's a conflict of interest, I can't take them. But I do have colleagues.
If they're not good for me, I'm coming back to you. You have to recommend.
And I'll refer you. But we'll obviously ask like what
for sure.
what you're looking for.
Okay. Sean, ready up the gifts now.
Yo,
Ready up the gifts.
that took me serious. Oh shoot! And so we're on camera too. I can't even
Nah,
can't even
back on that
backtrack
one,
and say I didn't say that.
Get back out of that one.
I didn't even see
Stop.
any
Just give me a
lights.
bill and we're good.
This guy's crazy.
Yo, what's wrong with him?
I don't know.
All right, so kind of last couple questions
Yeah.
before we kind of dive into our game. Confidentiality obviously is a big thing, and obviously what comes with ethics and stuff in your field. But does that kind of play into how much communication goes on between sessions? Is that a thing, or between sessions can you speak to your client, kind of like check-ins or whatever the case, or is it solely whenever the sessions are held?
Oh, between sessions, can you speak to your clients?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I feel like different therapists do it differently. I set a precedent from the start. I usually speak to my clients just in sessions.
Because things get foggy.
Just because, there have been some stories. So,
That's what I mean. Like,
I also not really trying to
no, you don't
do
have to.
anything out of my college. Like it's just really, like we've heard some stories of like clients saying like they my therapist like texts me or like my therapist thing. I'm like, I'm not playing that.
It comes off wrong.
I'm not playing that. And I'm very like particular, like to be honest, like if it's male clients, might be a little bit more strict.
Yeah.
Just because recognizing that I'm a woman and
Sure.
whatever.
Vulnerable state.
Yeah, like I'm just like so like sometimes clients can reach out via email, and then I also screen their questions. Like if those questions are leaning, like if it's therapy related, I'll say thank you for the email. If it's crisis, like please refer to so and so. I will see you at your next session. Then there's like questions that might get a little personal. I don't even reply to it.
Like, what are you saying tonight?
This guy's crazy.
I want to know. We're all thinking it.
It's true.
It's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
So and some can like err on the border of like oh, what are you doing tonight, or like you look and the compliment or like things like that. It's just like we try to like get that like right out the way. And then with kids, we don't do any exchanges. Like adolescents, I work from 12 to 17. Nothing via email, just in case if they disclose anything and I'm not with them, I can't support them. So we always tell that from the get, like don't contact us via email. Email is just for like scheduling and stuff like that. I do not give cell phone numbers. Some therapists do. I just don't.
Okay.
And mainly I don't because if it was ever a crisis, I don't want that on me.
Yeah, not first responders.
Like I can't I'm not first. I work for first responders.
Yeah.
I give therapy to like firefighters, police officers, and paramedics, but
I see a lot. My friend, actually, David, is on his journey to become one, and I just keep.
They go.
My God.
Yeah, they're. Yeah. They
Good
need.
job.
Yeah.
Probably same thing too.
Yeah. So confident. Yeah. So I usually keep it like within sessions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess lastly, just what's the recommendation if you were to have one, or if there is none, you let me know. on, I guess, what the frequency of sessions would take place. Like if once a week, do you do that by case, or is it something like, yo, whenever you're ready to talk?
Right.
Like
Definitely case by case.
Mhm.
I think a standard is like 6 to 8 sessions, 6 to 12 sessions for someone.
And how does that span?
Every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Usually like bi-weekly. And then you'll have to ask people, like there's some people that are really busy. Like I have like D1 athletes that I take that travel a lot to train and stuff like that. So they might check me like every month. And then I have individuals who are just like, I need to see you all the time. And it's just like, we screen them. Anyone that has like suicidal ideations or like self-harming tendencies or like a flight risk and stuff like that, I'll put them in weekly. If they've like, they're assigned. So I have to see them weekly just to make sure that they're like, I want to know that you're alive.
Yeah.
And then we set up obviously a lot of protocols, but for the most part, it's bi-weekly, like 6 to 8, 12 sessions. Yeah.
Okay.
But everyone's so different, because like you can come to me and say, Kace, like it's my anxiety, but by 4th session, I just realized you're still grieving from someone that passed away 2 years ago. That might extend the session. You know what I'm saying? So it's really different, but standard, yes, 6 to 12.
Okay.
How often do you do it?
Bi-weekly.
Yeah.
But I have so many therapists and coaches now. Like I feel like it feels like it's weekly. But I feel like
How many therapists do you have?
so I have like a main therapist, and I have one that focuses on ADHD, and then I have a coach,
Okay.
a life coach, and I have a business coach.
Okay.
So it's like 4. Quite expensive. But what I'm trying to do is like it's an investment. It's an investment.
That's me.
You know what I'm saying? It's an investment. But it's not like I'm gonna do this forever. But like I think sometimes there's a period. I think I always have a therapist.
Yeah.
But like I think for like the coaching and certain things, it's like for moments.
I say people should at least try it.
Yeah.
At least try it. Get the right therapist. Get a couple consults going, and just it's worth your while. Some people are really passionate about what they do. Like it's nice. It's good.
Tashawn, it's that time.
It's game time. All right.
Okay.
So we'll probably have our guest pick. So we have this game called Let's Talk About It.
Okay.
It's actually like a draft of a card game that I've made for conversations for groups or men, where it's like we can have, it kind of prompts vulnerable conversations. The cards are in 3 different categories. So white is surface, blue is medium, and black is deep. And what I'll do is I'll have you pick a card.
You know I'm going for the black.
And then you can either ask, you can direct it to the question, you can direct it to somebody or to the group.
Okay. You made this?
Yeah. But there's a draft, it's a first draft.
My next event.
I'm with it.
This is not deep. Is this deep? What is one thing that stresses you out?
I think do we have that before?
We might have. Pick another card. We might have
Okay.
that one already. Sorry.
Why are you looking away? He's like,
Why are you looking at me first?
I don't know. I feel like
Is it okay? So are you directing it or for the room?
No, I actually looked at him. Okay. What is one thing you wish you said to someone you've lost? Oh.
Are you directing it? You answer. Well, you're gonna have to answer either way, but directing it or for the room.
Let's do the room. This is a really deep one.
Okay.
Who you picking first?
What is one thing you wish you said to someone you've lost? Let's start with you, Steph.
One thing I wish I said I lost. One thing I wish I said to somebody I lost.
That you've lost.
I appreciate our time together. I love you. You mean a lot more to me than I've shown, expressed.
Yeah, that's important.
I think both of my grandparents, when they passed, I think the last thing I did say to them was I love you, but I wish I could say it again.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Is there up?
Is it me or Tashawn?
Yo, somebody.
I thought it was Tashawn.
It's you, dog.
At you.
No, we moved and looked at you. You just looked at
you
Tashawn.
looking at me. I'm looking at him. So it bounced off.
Yes.
But if it's me, I had a friend. Now I have to tell you guys a story so you guys can understand. Like, childhood friend. We grew up together. And I don't know what it is, man. But when you live in the hood, sometimes these guys just, I don't know if it's smoking the weed. I don't know if somebody puts stuff in their weed. I don't know if it's the drinking. I don't know what it is, right? If I had the answers, I would tell you guys. I really just don't know. And he started, like, losing his mind. Like, he would say things to you like, fuck off, get out of here. And, like, we were all just like, he's stressed, whatever, right? But it got to the point where now, like, I heard he chased one of our good friends with a knife. Right? And then we're like, what? This can't be him. And then one night, like I was walking by his house, and he says to me, I'm like, yo, what's up? He goes, who the fuck you talking to? So I had to look behind me, like, you talking to me? So I'm like, yo, you good? Don't ask me if I'm good. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, what's wrong? He goes, yo, if I see you around here again, it's going down. And I'm like, yo, you know what? Something's not right. So I spoke with his mom, and his mom looked like, she's like, oh no, he's just going through whatever he's going through. She didn't want to accept it. But everybody's telling her, like, he's not acting right. Like, he chased this person. Like, we grew up together. I mean, we grew up together. Like, this is my guy. If I call him and say, yo, this guy did this to me, he's there in 5-10 minutes. And then he got shot because he had problems with another guy down the street. But the guy didn't know that he's going through these mental issues right now. And obviously, he's not going to know that because nobody told him. Nobody's going to tell his business. So when he got shot, right, and he died, the only thing, like, I would say is, like, I'm sorry. And the reason why I'm saying I'm sorry is because I felt like us as a community and everybody who known could have done more. But we passed it on because his mom said, oh, he's all right. He's going to be all right. And we knew he wasn't all right. But there's nothing none of us did. You get what I'm saying? So then now when he's going to the store late at night, sees the guy, they get into a fist fight, the guy pulls out a gun and shoots him. And he dies.
Wow.
Right? And then everybody's like, oh, he's with his father now. But it's like,
didn't have to be like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are my words. I would just say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you went through that, bro.
Powerful.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, sorry, Riz, as well.
Damn.
Wow.
For me, I haven't lost a lot of people who I'm super close with, but decently close. But my mind immediately went to my boy Jeff, who I went to university with. He was my roommate before Steph, actually.
Great soul, bro.
Rest in peace, Jeff.
Jeff was like a good friend, a loyal friend, somebody who would just hold it down for you. And Jeff and I actually got in a lot of trouble in university together. Like, we both got suspended from the basketball team, arrested. We did a lot of, like, we did some stuff together, but like, he was just that friend that, you know, would always have your back. Even though we made mistakes together, we learned, we grew together. After we both got in trouble, Jeff actually ended up transferring schools and going to a whole different place. And we were still boys, but like, I feel like I have this thing sometimes when I don't see you in my immediate vicinity, I can check out from our relationship. And I feel like a few years later, like, we talk here and there, and then like I would see him from time to time, but like a few years later when I heard he passed away in a motorcycle crash, I remember just thinking to myself, like, damn, like, he actually did mean a lot to me. And I wish I told him how much he meant to me and how much I loved him and like what a good friend he was to me. Because I don't know, like, as we all kind of know in life, there's some people who you meet who are some real ones.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so important we keep those people close.
Yeah.
And or if we can't keep them as close as we want them, it's just like let them know how important they are to us. I wish he knew that.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I got a chance to say that to him.
Absolutely.
So that's mine.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
For sure, bro. R.I.P. Jeff, for real.
Real one, for real.
Yeah, that was dope. Even, like I said, kind of piggybacking off of your point about him, didn't even have to really know him to, like, even, you know, feel like he was your loyal person. You're just a great person upon meeting him, even, you know? So, yeah, again, shout out to Jeff, R.I.P. Jeff. Shout out to his family.
Yeah. Thanks for answering the question, guys. I think
usually I don't answer them, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
We're getting somewhere.
All right.
No, that's what it's for, bro. Break the show, my G. No, Case.
I just wanted to I just wanted to say I hope you guys can keep doing this, like, in not just on the podcast, but like even within respectively like your own spaces. Because like I think like life is short and it's fleeting sometimes. And I think it's important for us to tell people like we love them, we care about them, and like we're sorry, or like pick up and call. And
shout out to him too.
But no, it's like it's just like I think it's really important, and like this story, Charles, that you shared, like it's so hard for me to hear the story because we've lost so many people like that. Because everyone just knew something was wrong. But it's like, and it's not no one's fault because we just didn't know the language. We didn't know what was happening. We also have people that are in denial, especially when like we go to parents and stuff like that. It's like, no, my kid's fine. No, like he's just stressed. And that's the thing, right? So I just hope that people actually like pay attention when someone says they're not okay. Like ask a couple of more questions. Like, did you eat today? Like, do you want to like kick it? Like, I got 10 minutes. You want 10 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Like even 10 minutes with someone. And it doesn't even only have to be the people that we know and love. Like it could be like people on the streets. There's so many people on the streets right now. Like I'm trying my best to like when I can just like talk to people on the streets, give them food and bring them with me when I go to the Tim Hortons run. You know, I'm like, I don't really got money, but I can quickly like cash, but I can quickly buy you some food. You know, and I think it's just that. I think humanity needs to really stand up. And I think it's just important, like keep talking, keep having conversations. And especially for the men too, like, yeah, like we really want you guys in the conversation. And I hope you guys continue to amplify your voices and just your experiences. And I hope you get to share it with even like the women in your lives, you know, like, be honest with them, let them know, like, I need more space. Like, I want to talk more. I want to express more. Like, I'm not okay, you know? And I think women have learning to do as well. You know, we try our best. We love, women are very emotional, some of them, us. So I think we occupy a lot of space. Like I had to learn that. And I had to really like regulate my emotions before like, you know, talking and men are very logical, you know, you guys are just like, put the emotions aside. It's like, you know, let's get this done. But we need a balance. Like we need each other.
I think that's an Achilles heel we have for sure. The logical piece that I guess we let take over. It's like, okay, if I express this, what's the end goal here? Will it get us anywhere? If it doesn't, if we don't see that upfront immediate goal, we're kind of just like, all right, we'll toss this to the side. I feel like that's
I think you're going through that right now.
A lot of times. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I won't even deny that.
Challenge your thoughts.
I won't even deny that.
Yeah.
I know we all answered it, but it would be great if you can too.
Oh. Wow, nobody asked me questions. Okay, what is one thing you wish you said you'd someone you lost? So like to Sean, I actually haven't lost someone close to me. Which sometimes I wonder. Not that I, you know, like, okay.
It sounds crazy, but I got
But you get what I'm saying? Because like sometimes I feel so like when people are grieving around me, I've always been the one to support people grieving, but I haven't really grieved like a death, but I have grieved relationships. So I'll use that. I haven't lost like a close one. The closest was like one sister. I didn't know if she was gonna live or not when she got diagnosed, but praise God, she lived. But I think I would say I think I would forgive them, like for all the relationships that I've lost. Like I've loved a lot of people. Like I'm a big lover girl, and I love like heavy. But I think I would open up and say like I forgive you, or ask, can you forgive me? I think that's what I would say. I think there's a lot of unforgiveness in our hearts that really like keeps us bound to not healing. So yeah, so I think that's what I would say to someone that I've lost. I've lost a lot of people as I also found Christ. I used to be, my family's Hindu. So I found Christ 2 years ago and I converted. And so in the conversion, I lost all my like community. So like I felt like I had no one. So I grieve that. I grieve that a lot. I'm still grieving actually, to be quite honest. I grieve that because I chose Jesus. I gave my life to Jesus. So that's what I do. I feel like it's hard when people don't know God yet. And I'm praying for them, and I'm praying for everyone that they do find God. But yeah, like I think it's like an ongoing process. But I would forgive. I would forgive them, and I would ask for forgiveness. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Man, this conversation was definitely needed, and I appreciate everybody for showing up. And Kace, I especially appreciate you for taking the time out of your schedule and coming here and sharing some time with us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for what you do in the community.
Literally.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? You started out saying, you know what I mean, that's where your heart lies, and and you want to continue to build it up. So, thank you for what you do and
Appreciate that.
amazing.
Yeah.
Keep it
No, I just
going.
honestly, I just give glory to God. I'm just glad that I'm being used as a vessel.
Vessel,
Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you to Sean.
No, thanks for pulling up. It's so funny. I didn't think we would do this soon,
Yeah.
but it just felt like so aligned and so necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this conversation is, I don't know if we totally understand the impact it could have, but I think it's gonna have a great one.
I think
because
it is too.
Yeah.
some of the people that watch this podcast
Yeah.
had a lot of the questions we're having today, and I think there's a lot of breakthroughs that I saw on a lot of people, a lot of our faces here. So like, thank you for all your knowledge and all the work.
And thank you guys, like you guys actually engaging in conversation. Like it's uncomfortable. Anytime like a therapist is done, everyone's like, oh boy. Like the eye rolling.
Nah, this felt natural,
But
man.
yeah, you guys did
Yeah,
such
yeah.
a good job. You're like opening up and just like really just challenging yourselves, really. I could also sense like a really good brotherhood here. So God bless you guys.
You guys are cool, man.
I pray that you guys continue to fellowship, I pray that you guys continue to get each other. And yeah, like just kind of like blessing the space. And I hope you guys continue to do this. You guys are doing some great work and helping a lot of people. So,
Appreciate that.
How do we I don't know if you're gonna get into this stuff, but like, how do they find
promote
you?
yourself?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so
especially
bad at
the
this.
event that you say you do once a year.
Yeah.
That's really
You can find me I'm on LinkedIn with my full government name, which is Kausalya Vimal.
Say that again, please.
Kausalya Vimal.
No, you gotta say it again because you laughed.
My government name is Kausalya Vimal. So I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Instagram. I am Showcase, SHOWKAC. I actually started this platform 7 years ago when I was struggling with my mental health, and I realized a lot of people weren't talking about it. So I used to do dance therapy. And I would just post videos on Instagram, of like contemporary hip hop dance, and connected to like anxiety, depression, all this stuff. So that's really why I opened up Instagram. And and just like God's been just so amazing. Just kind of like that platform came, and then I just started speaking and doing a lot of events, and then I became a therapist. And I have an annual event called Let's Talk Therapy, and I just finished one in July. So then my team is actually working on the next one when the new year comes. We're hoping to do it maybe fall this time, but I do a lot of like speaking engagements and stuff like that too. But I think Instagram would probably be, I'm coming back on Instagram, so hopefully I'm still trying to navigate Instagram just because it's hard. There's a lot. There's a lot going on, but yeah, you can follow me in there. My podcast, It's Time to Talk, is on Spotify and Apple. I have 4 seasons on there, so
congratulations to that, bro.
Yeah.
What's that?
Congratulations to that, because even us kind of doing this, it's great, to be honest. So for you to continue doing that in 4 seasons, you know what I mean? Like, me and Tashawn had a discussion not too long ago about, like, I guess getting a check-in on how this feels. Like, how do you feel? Do you want to continue? It's just like, like, it feels invigorating. It feels great,
So run with that. If your heart's in it, run with that.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, anything to promote for yourselves?
Why are you laughing? Quick question: you guys valet park it?
It's done at
All
9.
right.
It's done at 9.
Wait, I didn't even
After
pay.
9. So now what?
I didn't even pay.
Well, you better hope I don't get a ticket.
I forgot.
I didn't pay.
So
I didn't
all
pay.
I was on time and I forgot, but whatever. So you guys have a door that you might need security. TDT security.
You
Shout
gotta do
them
door
out.
sealing?
Pardon?
You gotta do door sealing?
We do what you need. The juice is right here. You guys give your opinion on the juice real quick. 'Cause
So good.
my boy wanted us to know.
What's Green Power? What's the name? B Vibe?
B Vibe Juicery.
Yeah, really good. I have cucumber, pineapple, apple, lemon, ginger. It's just the right amount of ingredients. It's not too sweet, and ginger's good for your body.
I think it's solid too. Like, you know what I mean?
What do you have over there? Talk to
I
them.
have the carrot juice. It tastes really good, but also, you know what I mean? If you're like a real nutrition person, it has all the nutritious values here.
Most guy's sick.
Huh? No, for real. You know what I mean? Most of these juices that you get, you
don't even know.
consume. You don't even know you're consuming.
Yeah,
So I
read
think
your
that's
ingredients.
I think that's a really.
It says on the bottle too, 100% natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I have the Sunrise, orange, pineapple, lime.
I have to do a live
Yes,
take.
commercial.
To be honest with you,
Run a check.
the right amount of ingredients and that pineapple taste on the end. It really does it for me, to be honest.
You do this.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, up to 24 karat. It's not too sweet. I think that's the biggest thing
Yeah.
for me. It's not too sweet. It's just fresh.
You would recommend it though, the carrot juice? Because I know people, you know, it's up their face at carrot juice.
Yeah, I'm not a big carrot person, but this juice is good.
Neither was I until he made me try it. I tried all of them. He even does in the summer. He does the watermelon.
Ooh.
And that one's very refreshing. I think they're all good.
Follow him
You
too.
just want to, you know,
B-Vibe Juicery on Instagram.
That's it. He just wanted you guys to try some juice.
Thank you.
Thank you for sure.
Before we go, I want to just say, rest in peace to Alan Cox. Big pillar of the basketball community, mentor, father, and just an all-around good man. We just rest in peace to him, and my thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
And on that note, from me
to Sean,
you know what I mean? The gang right here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Until next time, be safe.